A professional LoL player spent 100 yuan to get me a computer. I only made 99 from him. A beauty spent 500 yuan to make me a motorcycle. I earned him 488 Mr. Live from Dami also came here by reputation. They want to spend 10 million to have me make a car. In the end, I blacklisted 8 million. Later, the Longo military approached me. They actually cost me 200 million to build tanks. I thought surely I wouldn't dare to cheat on Longo's money. I held back. He earned 180 million. Who actually dare to make money from Longo? However, after testing the tank's power, Shen Fei, I still have a 600 million order here. Find some time to do it. I smiled and said, I make a little by 100 million. You don't mind, right? After all, earning money from customers is the key to earning points. Only points can be achieved. Upgrade your manufacturing system. When I first got the system, my limbs were almost regressing from idleness. Bored, I went to the live stream room looking for work. At that time, the former professional player, Zishi, was roaring. If it weren't for my crappy computer, it was stuck just now. I can let Bayun solo kill. Zishi aiming for a comeback. Encouraged by viewers in the live stream, Chen Gong knelt down 3 more times. Zishi was completely broken. Viewers are eager to stir things up. I'll just say it. What kind of strength does Erzi have? Then, a viewer named Frog spoke up. Zishi ignores these little haters. I believe it's you. The computer really lags. Remember to contact me if you change your computer. I'll give you a 20 discount. Switch computers and find Frogs. 30 but only 28 in profit. If it's bad, come at me. Housing management. Insert the Frog out of the live stream room for me. This time I'll definitely find one. A tech expert equipped with a computer. Let me show you what real strength really means. Saying that, he started searching the live stream hole. Tishi's eyes lit up instantly. Super God Manufacturing Store. Fulfill all your fantasies. It's the one. It's going to be super divine. He wrote down his requirements on the order. I want a machine that can play LoL, achieving a state of human-machine integration. He claimed to have struck with his fist, the kind of kick Li Yuanhao did. I have a team of lawyers supporting me. If you can't do it, don't take my orders. Saw the order message from Zishi. The viewers in the live stream couldn't hold back any longer. You're writing novels from here. Restore the unity of man and machine. Why don't you just say one strike to break the heavenly gate? TC didn't want a computer. This must be a damn magical artifact. Who dares to take this order? Wrong. The boss actually took the job. And they take orders instantly. Boy, this boss is crazy. How could he accept such an outrageous request? Look at the orders placed by the children. The amount is 100 yuan. The child will later sue for fraud. This amount is enough to get a sentence. Punishment. This time the boss is getting punished. I didn't have a single business deal. So bored that my limbs are almost deteriorating. And after seeing Zishi's order requirements, I felt quite calm inside. Although the system only has the first phase. Category 2 civilian goods manufacturing skills, but it also includes computer manufacturing technology. After seeing my reply, Zishi, his expression froze. The live chat was flooded with comments. Physical examination report. Why does this boss need a medical report? I don't get why you need a physical exam report just to get a computer. She gave the live stream water to the room. Friends gave me a look of disdain. Do you guys even understand? This is called professionalism. After I sent the Zishi physical test data to the system, feedback was received quickly. The suitable display rate for the Zishi is around 218. The CPU processing speed is 0.58 milliseconds. Other words, the operation by Zishi to the hero on the computer. The completion rate is 0.98 TMs. It's difficult, but not very difficult. The system activates the super laboratory. Receive the host command. The lab is open. I glanced at the morning camera in the corner. Used computers that have already been scrapped. This car appeared in my sight. The price is 126 yuan. Order worth 100 yuan. Setting aside the cost 126, you can earn over 99 yuan. Activate the second phase of the system. Isn't 80 points enough? The super lab has been successfully launched. Currently, the laboratory is in the first phase. The timing is 5-1, equivalent to 5 days in the lab. In the real world, 1 day. Currently, there are 2 options available to the host. The first is fully integrated into the super laboratory. The host will not age in the laboratory. Second type is only the entity entering. In the super laboratory, the external body ages over time. If the system upgrade takes longer, it will increase to 101. Wouldn't that mean spending a year in the lab? Reality has only passed less than 4 days. I excitedly closed the shop door. Holding that scrapped computer, entered the super laboratory. In the lab, I don't have to eat or sleep. Your spirit will always stay in a high state. After 3 days, graphics card, motherboard, CPU, hard drive. I successfully made them all. Crafting score is out of 10. This production scored 9-9. I find memory creation too time-consuming. It was made a bit rougher. Originally it could last 20 years. It can still be used for 10 years now. After all, one computer is usable. 5 or 6 years is considered a long life. I entered the lab. It was 9 p.m. It's 11 m.m. In reality, only a dozen hours had passed. I sent it by express according to the address Zishi had left behind. 6 p.m. Viewers who received the live notification flocked to Zishi's live stream room, and when I saw the new computer arrive, the headline immediately caused an uproar. I'm a good girl. So fast? Is this new computer serious? The computer was assembled in less than a day. Better to look forward to it a little. After all, Herzi is a flower. A full 100 yuan. Zishi rubbed his hands excitedly. Brothers witness it together. The launch of the new computer. The next second, expression on Zishi's face. It completely solidified. A dazzling, colorful case. And where did the 28-inch curved screen go? Zishi looked at the case covered in a layer of dust. His eyelids twitched hard twice. Is it Uncle Wang? I got scammed out of 100 yuan for my computer. No. It's not about asking the other party to refund the money. I just wanted to ask if you could send a manufacturing computer. How many years has the boss been in the house? The viewers in the live stream room. He was completely unable to hold back. I can't. Let me laugh for 3 minutes first. I just love watching my child break my defenses. Let's be honest. No one could bear this in anyone's hands. This computer came from the junk market. You probably can't find them anywhere. Looks like you still have to find a frog for the computer. He only earned 28 yuan. From 30 yuan. This manufacturing shop owner is a heartless 10. 1 to 99 from Herzi. Now I finally understand why this ruthless boss asked Zizi for a medical examination report. He was afraid Zizi would faint on the spot. After hanging up, Zishi nearly bit his molars to pieces. Not sending you in. I don't have the surname Liu. Saying this, she tearfully spent 10 on him. A computer worth 10,000 yuan was brought out. The incident of being scammed out of 100 yuan was triggered. The platform has given it great importance. They even sent staff members come to his live stream to collect evidence. And what Zishi is doing now was about evaluating the performance of the computer he received, so the staff could judge how much of his 100 yuan was actually scammed. Zishi suddenly confirmed this. Something is wrong. Why does this crappy computer feel? It opened up instantly. Zishi, somewhat skeptical, turned off his phone again. Press the power button again. Viewers in the live stream room were also affected. He stared intently at the screen. I am a god. What kind of boot speed is this? In no time the camera was ready to boot. How about booting up a better computer? It should take 6 or 7 seconds. She swallowed nervously and said, not 7 seconds. Not even 6 seconds. It was 468 seconds. I heard it right. 468 seconds. Isn't this crappy computer's boot speed just right? It crushes all computers. I heard the fastest startup speed is 5 seconds. As booting doesn't necessarily mean the computer's performance is good. I think this computer is very likely missing many components is why it moves so quickly. It might just be an empty shell computer. Empty shell computers. That's how love works. My heart aches for Herzi for a second. She slammed his fist on the table. The lawyer just said, 30 years. 100,000 years. He scammed an extra 10,000 yuan. He would be sent in for an extra year. At this time, Zishi downloaded a computer review software. Something is wrong. The reason this computer boots up quickly is because the components are missing. So how fast is it to download software? Why so fast? Could it be that we guessed wrong again? This computer really can't be judged by its cover. Zixijin glanced at the comments. You can't just look at me, is the gigabit dedicated line. Can it be unpleasant? Why is this review software different from mine? A processor is unknown. Graphics card knows. Memory unknown. Hard drive is also unknown. Why are there 4 unknowns? Could it be undetectable? Any brand matters. Could it be that it doesn't even count as a no-name brand? Boy, how much did Shen Fei earn by blackening Zishi? Wait a minute. Take a look at the rating section below. Rating 5,067,1854. Graphics card 3,098,541. Memory 255,412. Hard drive 715,76. Total score 9,123,383. Is it my imagination or just dreaming? I remember the computer with the highest benchmark scores nationwide. It's only 1,000,000 points. Could it be that the rating software made a mistake? This rating looks like a game. Zishi took a deep breath. Awaken. was opened. Just try it and you'll know if the computer is good. Zishi quickly found a match against him. Damn it. Do you know who the opposing top laner is? Bin. Chen Fei from Veil Day's professional team, waiting for the child's appearance to be destroyed. Bin has just returned from the World Championship. If he runs into Aben, won't he get beaten like a muggle? Zishi curled his lips. Isn't it just Bin? In other words, the computer is not up to par. Otherwise, forget about Chen Fei. Even that kid Jiang Chenglu wouldn't be able to handle it well. The viewers in the live stream heard this. That comment instantly made me burst out laughing. Urine Brigade. Preparation. Whose is yellow? Hurry up and wake up with Zizi. The abatis comes later. Team must not be allowed to taste any sweetness. Once the laning phase began, the viewers couldn't sit still. The meticulousness of Zishi's operations. It's the first time I've seen you. Zishi took out the option to choose to die standing up. Nor does it escape back to the tower state. He started a level 1 bloodbath with Aben. Suddenly I realized how to operate this computer. This is more than a level higher than usual. Each auto attack is interspersed. The skills all run especially smoothly. I'll go. Is it my imagination or just dreaming? Yes, he actually single killed Aben at Lawan. Master Tai is awesome. Tai makes a comeback. In his state, take the world. Champion is still just playing around. Zishi has grown stronger with each fight. One person brings 4 of them. His teammate won this round. Bin, don't be discouraged. This seems similar to Zishi Chen. The computer you use is related. Go to Zishi's live stream. Just take a look, and you'll know. At this moment, Uzi and Xiaohu. Others heard about this. They all rushed to Zishi's live stream room. Zishi sat in front of the computer. He couldn't recover for a long time. He was just making empty talk about the unity of man and machine. This computer actually made it happen for him. At that moment, his phone suddenly rang. Uncle Wang, already preparing to sue Shen Fei. Farewell, goodbye. Shen Fei is my real brother. I'll explain this to you later. Anyway, this computer costs 100 yuan. The money is definitely worth it. Subsequently, Zishi ran another model. Large-scale games are being tested. Boy. Fan connection on the radiator. Not even a spin is needed. The fan won't turn. Prove the CPU's work. Far from exceeding the load. I originally thought computers would reach their limits. Love hasn't even reached the threshold. The viewers in the live stream room, they also launched comments one after another. So Feige came up with it. This computer is so powerful. I know I was wrong. Feige, you'll forgive me, right? Feige is impressive. Feige is truly our Dragon Country's tech master. I slept until the afternoon. My eyes were loose. He opened his phone. Suddenly he saw a location of the live stream room. It was as if he had sped a rocket to the front row. I did consider pairing it for Zishi. The computer will attract a bit of traffic. He never expected it to be this terrifying. Looks like there's no need to upgrade the system now. Worrying about the points you need. Congratulations to the host for earning points. The system has been upgraded to the second phase. A category of civilian goods encyclopedia has already been compiled. Technology is implanted in your brain, including but not limited to air-conditioned vehicles, mobile phones, and other cutting-edge manufacturing. Actually, what interests me is still the third stage of the system. Military manufacturing, from the second stage to the third. Targets require 10 million points. I sighed. Even if you can earn 10 every day, even 10 0 points require 100 days. I glanced at the new orders in the back end. Basically, they come with computers. The highest is only 150 yuan. And you use your imagination. I'm not just good at building computers, just imagine it. I dare to build it. Suddenly, backstage came out. One order costs 500 0. At this moment, Xiaomei's live stream room exploded. I'll go. Everyone went to find Fei Ji to build a computer. Go find Brother Fei to build a motorcycle. Ha ha. It feels like this old woman is exactly that. They want to ride Vega's traffic. Just go ahead and ride the coattails. Sooner or later, something will happen if you get into trouble. Watching the viewers' comments, my face darkened. Don't call me an old woman. I'm only 27 this year. I really like motorcycles, but I don't like what is on the market. Those Volkswagen motorcycles. They even accused me of riding a wave of traffic. I'm just getting some yarn. And it was at this moment that netizens started to comment. The live comments started flooding in again. My good. The old woman's order was accepted by Feiji. I feel like Feiji might have slipped and clicked the wrong button. I feel like Feiji didn't slip by hand. But the true nature of the unscrupulous businessman has flared up again. The guy upstairs really is something. Feiji's computer is awesome, but the exterior is indeed trash. A computer case is such a cheap thing. I was unwilling to spend any money. I looked at Xiaomei's order requirements. The Fei. They're looking to get you a scooter. Car enthusiasts all say that true speed is true. Speeding in corners. They can't take the corner. So I want a motorcycle that goes straight and fast. The sooner the better. And she's a girl now. Brother Shen Fei wants to take the scooter. The exterior is beautifully made. Love you. After reading Hai Xiaomei's coquettish comment, I got goosebumps all over the floor. After all, she was a young girl in the prime of her youth riding a motorcycle. I plan to start with stability. You can't let a small one on the road happen just because of it. The stones cost her life. Of course, speed must also be ensured. Looks like this time I need to cut some meat. I gathered enough from the raw material warehouse. Materials needed to build locomotives. A total of 12 yuan was spent. Just looking at that number makes me feel a bit pained. After all, this was 12,000 points. I quickly got the locomotive. The framework was created. The engine and transmission are definitely reliable. It requires careful preparation. After all, the two of them made the decision. The speed of this locomotive. Exterior also requires considerable effort. About 15 days later, I looked at my own hands. The locomotive was built. He smiled with satisfaction. Systematic testing. Host obtained this time by creation. A perfect score, 100 points. Regarding the locomotive casing, the host's comprehension and creation. The ability has already been broken. Reward the host with 100 points. Looks like the system isn't some shady merchant after all. You can even give some unexpected rewards. Originally inside the lab and outside. The time ratio is 5:1. After the second phase we arrived. Exaggerated 31. 15 days in reality. The world has only been half a day. I packed the scooter and sent it to Hai Xiaomei. Everyone take a look at the title of the old woman's live stream. Brother Fai's new motorcycle has arrived. I'll go. Less than a day. Fai actually took the old woman. Locomotive was completed. Are there any motorcycle experts in the live stream? Is this speed normal? I've been a motorcycle enthusiast for 10 years. All I can say is a motorcycle built in just one day. Definitely not a good product. Ha ha ha. Yesterday I said old women, they're about to get tricked by Brother Fei. Now it really became reality. It seems Fei Ji is still as always. The true nature of a sly businessman is off the charts. I don't know about 500. How much money did Fei Ji embezzle this time? Previously, Fei Ji arranged for his son to marry a wife. I did the math on the computer, except for Fei Ji, who came up with it himself. The hardware is really impressive. Other materials are combined for estimates. Not even 200 yuan. Boldly predicting a wave. Fei Ji made at least 400 yuan. This round with 500 yuan. The guy upstairs said too little. Below 450 Even Feiga isn't good enough for a sly merchant. The title of leader. Wave after wave of comments came one after another. You simply can't stop. Inside a detached villa. A high girl sitting in front of the computer. Looking at these comments in the barrage, her little face turned red with anger. What does the motorcycle have to do with you? It really is. As long as I like it myself, that's enough. It seems not going live was the right choice. These haters are really annoying. My little sister pinched her waist. He muttered in anger. Wouldn't it be better to unwrap it yourself beautifully? Why do you still listen to others gossip? I'll unbox it myself. You want to see my new locomotive? I won't show you anything. The little girl let out a couple of humming sounds. In no time, the locomotive was loaded onto the cart. The large cardboard box was opened. Looking at the appearance of the motorcycle in front of him, my little sister's eyelids twitched violently twice. Shen Fei, did you really rip me out of money? You hate. I hate it. How could you be with those haters? He said exactly the same thing. Mingling, singing the cunning merchants. This locomotive in front of me, the shape is especially streamlined, but the exterior has nothing to do with looking good, especially under the sunlight. That shell looked as if it had rusted. It was as if the iron was forcibly cleaned clean. It could be as bad as it could be. Xiaomei was practically on the verge of crying. But out of this, everyone hopped on the scooter with Hai Xiaomei. The moment he turned the key, and it came to an abrupt halt. Oily and oily. Shen Fei, you big bastard. The darkest, most shady merchant in the world. I've spent 500 yuan. You can't bear to refill a tank of fuel for me. Shen Fei, don't think I'm afraid to actually call the police. Let me test the speed of this locomotive. If you are not satisfied, I'll just ask the police to stand up for me. But she was looking for the police officer before making decisions for her. Obviously, she had to go to the gas station first, buy a barrel of gasoline. In the live stream of Hai Xiaomei on the Tiger Shark platform, there are more and more people hearing about it. The crowd of visitors poured in. Her popularity is almost on par with her first stream. It was popular at that time, and for those interested, yes, all new scooters from Hai Xiaomei. Wow, guys, guess what I saw? Just now, I saw an old woman. What? Bro, you saw an old woman? Take a picture. What does a new motorcycle look like? Live chat was accompanied by a comment. A viewer's comment titled, Lonely seeks defeat. It exploded in an instant, and amid everyone's anxious anticipation, a few seconds later, that one named Lonely seeks defeat. Then he sent another message. I took a closer look. He only saw the old woman. People come to the gas station to fill up the gasoline. Motorcycle Feiji gave the old woman a scooter. I didn't see it at all. The old woman drove here. I don't understand. The old woman also has storage number 98. Is it a habit of gasoline? In the comment section of Lonely Seeks Defeat, everywhere he said he was filled with confusion. But some of the brains in the live stream room, more perceptive audience. He immediately realized the old woman went to the gas station to buy gasoline. Did Feiji not give him a motorcycle? Fill up the fuel tank. Ha 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 ha. It must be like this. Iker really lives up to his reputation as a shady business leader. 100 yuan for oil. He couldn't bear to give it to the old woman. You can always trust Feiji me. He never lets anyone down. Looks like I previously judged Feiji to be a 500 blacklist. Even older women say 450 yuan is too little, estimated to be 470 to 80. Once you have oil, I after the little girl turned the motorcycle key. The motorcycle I built for him in an instant, so he started the game. After putting on the helmet, Hai Xiaomei rode her scooter and left the villa. Hi little sister Danran used to ride a scooter, but she was clearly an outsider, so she cared about the performance of the locomotive. Actually, I don't really understand them. Turning the accelerator all the way. Hi after riding about 2 kilometers, so he stopped. This scooter is actually quite comfortable to ride, but the speed is 70 miles per hour. Not sure if that's fast. In front of him was a high-speed rail station. Because it is relatively remote, very few people come here to take the high-speed train. But because of the scenery here, it's not bad. What troubles does Hai Xiaomei have? I just like to come here and sit here, alone for a while. Every time it managed to heal herself. Shen Fei, you big pig's trotter. Fortunately, this place can lift my spirits. Otherwise, they'd really be wrong to death. 10 minutes later, I felt my mood had calmed down quite a bit. My little sister got up to make her plans, riding a motorcycle home, but at this moment, a young man about 27 or 28 years old, suddenly he walked over anxiously in front of the little sister. Hello, I have something urgent right now. May I borrow your scooter for a ride? Hearing the young man's sudden words, Hai Xiaomei's face immediately showed on her face. A trace of vigilance lingered. Why did you lend me your scooter? The young man turned his head at these words, toward the high-speed rail station behind them. Immediately he couldn't help but show his face. A trace of sorrow flashed across his face. My girlfriend of 7 years. You just broke up with me. What? She said as long as I could catch up. The high-speed train she was on. We still have a chance. So, the beauty of the woman. Please, can I borrow your motorcycle to give it a try? Don't worry. If you get damaged while riding, I'd sell everything I have to pay you back. The man looked up and stared intently at Hai Xiaomei. Besides the intense gaze in his eyes, the unexpected prayer of the prayer, and a trace of unwillingness. And when Hai Xiaomei heard his words, he was immediately dumbfounded. Big brother, did I hear that right? You have to chase the high-speed train on a motorcycle. Do you know how fast high-speed rail is? It's not that I don't lend it to you, but how could he possibly catch up? Hai Xiaomei often takes the high-speed train when traveling, so he was well aware of the terrifying speed of high-speed trains. They could overtake at the drop of a hat, 300 kilometers per hour. How could a single locomotive possibly be possible? Reach this speed, and even if you assume it's reached, the operation of high-speed rail is similar. Motorcycles are completely different. Just now, my little sister rode up to 79 mph. Everyone felt like they were ahead. Faihun was chasing from behind. If you ride a motorcycle to the ground, 300 kilometers per hour, that really was riding well and covered in duster. If you ride poorly, it's just a box of duster. Girl, have you ever heard a saying, knowing that it is impossible? I just wanted to give it a try. I'm afraid I'll miss this chance. It's a lifetime. Let our relationship last 7 years. Finally, let's burn one more time against the wind. At that moment, the young man said with tears in his eyes, and my little sister heard this. He stood frozen on the spot. He had no romantic experience, nor do they understand a relationship that lasted 7 years. What exactly is it? Well, at this moment, he was truly moved by the young man before him. He reached out his small hand to take the motorcycle key. He handed it to the young man. Hai Xiaomei's face lit up. He smiled faintly and said, Big brother, come on. The young man took the keys, nodded heavily. At this moment, a high-speed rail startup station. A gentle breeze blew in. The young man turned his head to look not far away. It had already run out in the blink of an eye. Hundreds of meters of high-speed train. She hurried hurriedly said to Hai Xiaomei, "Girl, great kindness does not say thank you. He was on that high-speed train. I have to go after him." After saying that, the young man quickly walked over in front of that locomotive. After putting on the helmet, the young man started up his scooter. The next second, a sound of air being cut through the air rang out. Hai Xiaomei's hair ends were all messed up by the blow. She looked at her catapult motorcycle. He was momentarily stunned. Why does it feel like it's with me? Riding it is different. Hai little sister stared blankly at her. The locomotive quickly slipped away from sight. Then he turned his head and saw that the neighbor had already entered. High-speed rail and high-speed mode. Her pupils involuntarily contracted sharply, according to Hai Xiaomei's estimation. At this moment, the high-speed rail is just running at a certain speed, not 300 kilometers per hour. It should look around 260 or 270 at the same time. But the young man riding his scooter, yet it was happening at a speed visible to the naked eye. He quickly closed in to follow that car. The distance between high-speed rail trains. On the high-speed rail, everyone who witnessed this scene, everyone felt a chill run down their spine. It shot straight from the soles of her feet to the crown of her head. Immediately after, the sounds of people pulling out their phones rose and fell one after another, echoed throughout the entire carriage. Some people turned on their cameras. This unbelievable scene, he recorded it all down. Some give their dearest ones. People started sending WeChat messages. She told him about this matter, but at the same time, everyone was a bit puzzled. Why ride the motorcycle so fast? Is it because they think they're living too long? Although there are very few vehicles on that highway. But in this high-speed driving state, one loss of control is a big deal. The fate of a car wrecking and a dead person is achieved. Wait a minute, everyone take a look. At this moment, a sudden cry rang out again. Everyone followed the reputation, saw that the high-speed train had already been pulled away. It disappeared from sight. The locomotive has appeared again. But this time the locomotive was in a halted state, and on the side of the locomotive, a young man was kneeling on one knee. His gaze was deep as he looked toward the high-speed train. He was clearly holding something in his hand. Although it was a bit far apart, no one could see the young man clearly. What exactly is in his hand? But many people speculate about that. It should be a ring. After a brief moment of silence inside the high-speed train carriage, it was completely broken by the continuous sound of horn. The boy drove so fast. Turns out they were all chasing after a high-speed train, even at the cost of their own lives. Driving a locomotive over nearly 400 miles per hour just to chase someone on this high-speed train. There must be a boy, probably a girl who loves her deeply, and beside a certain car window, a quiet-looking girl looking at the boy kneeling on one knee. Finally, I couldn't hold back my tears. She covered her mouth. It seems she doesn't want tears. It fell like money. And on the other side, Hai Xiaomei was still waiting at the high-speed rail station, but he had no idea about these things. And that young man named Zhang Ping, after handing over the motorcycle to the riders, Hai little sister's eyes are clearly visible. Her face was full of worry. He wasn't worried about Zhang Pingba. The motorcycle was damaged and I couldn't afford to pay for it. Instead, he was worried that something might happen to Zhang Ping again. After all, Zhang Ping was at a speed before parting. It was just too fast, far too fast. Now on the high-speed rail, Zhang Ping rides a scooter. Their figures had already vanished. Hey, of course I'm worried. Eldest brother, you must have nothing to do. Otherwise, I would definitely regret it. I'll lend you the scooter. But at this moment, a faint roar of a motorcycle suddenly rang out. The news reached Hai Xiaomei's ears. My little sister immediately looked up at the sound. He looked toward the highway. When he saw Zhang Ping riding it, after the locomotive safely returned, Hai little sister finally couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. After Zhang Ping approached and stopped the motorcycle, Hai Xiaomei quickly comforted her. Eldest brother, it's okay if you don't catch up. At least you've already tried it. There are no regrets. Girl, you look down on my skills, don't you? Your motorcycle's performance is just incredible. Only I'm a technical novice. You might not catch up with the high-speed train. But before me, it was fine. He's a motorcycle enthusiast, Zhang Ping said with a cheerful smile, and upon hearing Zhang Ping's words, this time it was Hai Xiaomei's turn to be a bit stunned. The locomotive's performance is incredible. It's impossible not to catch up with the high-speed train. Eldest brother, you mean you caught up? Hai Xiaomei asked exaggeratedly. Zhang Ping nodded happily upon hearing this. Then he turned to look at the motorcycle behind him. There was still a deep lingering expression in his eyes, he said with a sense of shock. At first I also felt I was catching up. High-speed rail is almost impossible, but to ensure he had no regrets in his heart. After I got on your scooter, then he slammed on the gas, shift gears sharply. Then I was shocked to discover, at the speed of your motorcycle, high-speed rail is renowned for its speed. In my eyes, it all seems to me slowing down like a snail. I thought it was a high-speed train. Driving speed is too slow, but I glanced down at it. Behind the instrument panel on the locomotive, I saw a number, 400 namiash. Converted to kilometers, that's a full amount. It reached over 600 kilometers per hour, and I know this isn't even a girl. The maximum speed of your motorcycle, cause I didn't even fully press the accelerator at that time. So miss you still are. Don't joke with me. What about your motorcycle? They might not catch up with a high-speed train. Even chasing planes is no problem. Jing just messaged me. He said he would wait for me at the next stop. Thank you, miss. Thank you so much. If it weren't for your motorcycle and your own, we might really miss out. Changping looked at Hai Xiaomai, he said gratefully. Then he glanced down at the time. Then he hugged him a little. Girl, excuse me. I had to hurry and buy a ticket to catch the next flight. The high-speed train went to find Aging. After saying that he expressed his feelings to Hai Xiaomai again, he expressed his deep gratitude. Only then did Changping hurry over, running toward the entrance of the high-speed rail station. What he didn't know was, afterwards his thank you voice was, "Hi little sister." He didn't listen to a single word. After he finished talking about Shenyang Aircraft Corporation, after the details of the motorcycle construction, Hai Xiaomei was completely dumbfounded. He stared blankly at the motorcycle beside him. Hi little sister couldn't help but feel her throat move. He swallowed nervously. Forget about catching the high-speed train. Chasing planes is no problem. Shen Fei. My Fei, you actually got me a car. What kind of motorcycle is it? I'm sorry. Earlier I was too loud. Fei, you're not a sly merchant. You're practically the bottom of the world. The most impressive manufacturer. You didn't cheer me on. It must be over a budget. 500 yuan isn't even enough to spend right. You're just too good to him. Not a single trick on anyone. At that moment my image in Hai Xiaomei's heart was like this. It instantly became more impressive. And the motorcycle parked in front of him. Hi. The more I looked, the more I liked her. It was nothing like before. Disliked its appearance. It can help a couple reconcile. Save a relationship. This is the most beautiful motorcycle. I'm Fei, I want to give you a perfect score. A perfect 10-star rating. On the way back, my little sister was absolutely in a great mood. Her mood was completely different from when she arrived. But what she didn't know yet, because of her motorcycle. The internet has already caused a huge uproar. It's all because of the ride. The passengers on that high-speed train record the video. All of it was posted online in a short period of time. Anyone who watches videos, everyone was flooded with news about this incident. Watch 10 videos. At least 8 of them must be Zhang Pingqi. The shocking scene of a motorcycle chasing the high-speed train. Charge forward for love. Chasing high-speed trains on motorcycles. This topic is even more direct. It reached #1 on the trending list. Countless netizens were moved by this story. Love story was truly moving. In a detached courtyard in Yanjing, famous motorcycle blogger Pai Yu is facing the camera. A video of a motorcycle chasing a high-speed train. Personally giving the live stream to the room. The audience played it once. I wonder if everyone has taken a close look. The entire video is 9 seconds long, and the motorcycle in the video is here in just 9 seconds. Total of 26 utility poles were crossed. According to the Municipal Department of Magic City Planning and Construction in recent years, that road is called Manhwa Avenue. The distance between the utility poles on the surface, every 2 stems are between them. The standard is 55 meters. 26 utility poles. The spacing is 55 meters. 9 seconds. Combining these data, it can be concluded that the speed of the locomotive in the video, it has reached a terrifying 600 more kilometers per hour. Exaggeration. This is really an exaggeration. I've been riding motorcycles for so many years. I've never seen such a trash motorcycle before. You couldn't help but click his tongue repeatedly, looking at the locomotive in the video. Her face was filled with longing. Although the motorcycle in the video appearance was somewhat blurry, you can't even see his face clearly. But in Piyu's view, it has such performance. Appearance and such no longer matter. Don't even think about owning a locomotive like this. It was just about letting him ride a lap. Piyu felt his life was worth it. Piyu was full of longing. His live stream had over 100 viewers. Was completely shocked by his words. Although the video shows the motorcycle chasing the high-speed train, the impact it gave to viewers is already huge enough. However, at the top speed of the locomotive at that time, no one really had any idea. Now, after hearing Piyu's analysis, over 100,000 netizens just felt a chill down their spines. They couldn't help but feel numb. Damn it, I heard it right. Over 600 kilometers per hour. Usually I drive around 120. It felt like my soul was chasing me from behind. This locomotive actually reached a top speed. Terrifying 600 or more. Is that guy riding a scooter really not afraid of dying? Death, I want to take him with me too. But I simply can't catch up to him. Feels like the helmet on that guy's head really knows how to take the weight. It was somewhat redundant. All I can say is his brief moments. 9 seconds. More wonderful than my whole life. Take the dreams in every knight's heart. Sicherlegend à toi. It has a displacement of 998 cc and 310 horsepower. It can be done within 26 seconds. Increase speed to 400 kilometers per hour. per hour. It is known as a ground-based flying aircraft. 400 kilometers per hour. It has already surpassed the high-speed rail. Normal driving speed. All this data is for dedicated purposes. Testing on the track. Those roads are not only smooth and flat, it also has the best choice for motorcycles. Driving hardness structure. In this case, the legendary H2R can only have 400 kilometers top speed per hour. But that's Chenghua Avenue. Not to mention having all these conditions. There will probably be many small stones on the road. In this case, that locomotive. It can reach speeds exceeding 600 kilometers h. Do you know what this means? It means the engine of that locomotive. The transmission section is also stable. It absolutely pulls any brand currently on the market. All the locomotives are in more than one class. Otherwise, a stone no bigger than a thumb can reach speeds of up to 600 kilometers h. The locomotive was destroyed and people killed. And there's one more thing I think can't be ignored. That is the footage from the video. Only 9 seconds, but the motorcycle chases the high-speed rail. The time definitely lasts more than 9 seconds. The whole process is likely to exceed that. It lasted 2 minutes. The legendary H2R reaches a top speed of 400 kilometers h by 5 for 1 minute per hour. The engine would blow out instantly, and that locomotive was going at 600 kilometers. It took a full 2 minutes to run, but nothing happened at all. I no longer know what to use to describe it. This has completely broken through my understanding of the locomotive. He is now the one in the motorcycle world. A truly unique king. I think none of this is an exaggeration. Pu finished speaking. Excitement shone in her beautiful eyes. The intention was already completely impossible to hide. And many Yongyo in the live stream room, after hearing Pi's words, he was completely stunned. The locomotive they saw in the video, it can actually be called the present most impressive locomotive in the world. The price of the legendary H2R is already there. I'll reach 720 yuan per vehicle. Then this car is even more impressive than the legend H2R. No one knows what grade of motorcycle it is. The value easily exceeds 1 million. Kangshou Road Avenue. While netizens were still suspicious, Hai Xiaomei, the owner of the scooter. But we still don't know all of this. She was riding a motorcycle, surely wandering along the highway. And because she was in a great mood, he even casually started a live stream. I'm in a good mood today. Half an hour into the stream, listening to the cheerful voice of the little girl. After a brief silence in the live stream chat, it erupted like a tidal wave. No, I heard it right. In a good mood. Did the old woman get her head caught by the door? Figure that shady businessman swindled the way out of all of the money. He actually felt better. I can't take it anymore. I just can't accept it. An old woman shouldn't be heartbroken, wanting to cry but unable to shed tears. I damn well wanted to see her cry. Brothers, you think there is a possibility? The old woman has fallen in love with Fei Jie, trapped by the one you love. To older women, that's a kind of happiness. The viewers in the live stream chat grew more and more exaggerated. My little sister is riding a scooter. He casually glanced at the barrage of comments. Coincidentally, it happened to be a police officer. At these points, immediately the little girl's eye twitched. He couldn't help but twitch slightly. Hey, you guys are your sisters. I'm really short on men. The little girl hadn't finished speaking yet. She suddenly let out a sharp scream. Many viewers watching in front of the screen were. Her scream startled her, and once everyone caught their breath, it was done again. Looking at the live broadcast, many viewers were momentarily stunned. Crushed. At this moment, Hai Xiaomei was already with her in the car. They all collapsed by the roadside, and in front to the left of Hai Xiaomei, and a cool Ferrari F90 sports car also slowly came to a stop. After the Ferrari F90 came to a standstill, one was dressing up, but at first glance the man seemed a bit effeminate. He then walked down from above. After he came down, he didn't even look at it. He was still lying not far away. The girl on the ground glanced at the girl on the ground. Instead, it revolves around his own tens of millions of levels. The sports car took a look. Then his expression changed. He glared at Hai Xiaomei with an ugly expression. You should sell the house. The man's sudden words. This made Hai Xiaomei slightly stunned. She forced herself to endure the pain. He stood up from the ground. Then, feeling utterly aggrieved, he said, You were the one who suddenly rushed out and turned the corner. The man chuckled at this. Then, on his pale face, a hint of absurdity appeared. Are you funny? Clearly you were the one driving without paying attention to the road. I'm speechless about you motorbike girls. You know you're the wretched locomotive of yours. How much is a scratched part worth? The man crossed his arms. He looked at Hai Xiaomei through his nostrils and said, And Hai Xiaomei seems to have realized this too. He had just been streaming while riding a scooter. The traffic police arrived and he figured it was true. He also had to compensate Li Jiazhen. So be it. Hai Xiaomei gritted her teeth and said, I can compensate you for the loss of your sports car, but you also have to compensate me for the loss loss of my motorcycle. Hai Xiaomei said as she spoke. She turned her head to look at me. The motorcycle he was given to him just now after the collision between the two cars. It's not just Li Jia, who really drives Ferrari sports cars. A scratch was left on the ground. Hai Xiaomei's motorcycle shell. The damage was even more severe. If it weren't for the shell supporting it, most of the impact force. Hi, my little sister's legs probably aren't just one. It's as simple as just making a cut. Okay. Just do as you say. My time is precious. I don't have the mood to keep wasting time with you. Give me 5 million. As for your motorcycle, paying you 3,000 is more than enough. Li Jiazhen waved his hand a bit impatient, and when Hai Xiaomei heard his words, he was left stunned on the spot. 5 to 5 million. Bro, you're a robber, right? Li Jia looked exaggerated. The high girl with a high expression, but he couldn't help but purse his lips again. Is 5 million expensive? If you can't afford it, then reflect on it yourself. Have you worked hard all these years? Has the salary increased? Don't really wait until you need money. Only then did he realize he was a useless loser. Never mind. Better not waste words with you. Call the police and let them handle it, Li Jiazhen said as he spoke. At the same time, he was about to pull out his phone to make a call. Saying this, Hai Xiaomei gritted her teeth and said, you say 5 million, so 5 million. It's not like I've never seen sports cars before. Even if you repaint this car, fix it a bit more. At most it's 200 yuan. I can compensate you with 200, but you also have to fix my car. Let's talk about it first. I don't want money. I just want you to restore my car to its original condition. Speaking of the end, Hai Xiaomei's eyes couldn't help but show a glimmer of emotion. A trace of heartache emerged. The motorcycle Shen Fei gave him is now. He couldn't have loved it more. The casing that was hit is already somewhat deformed. It would be no wonder he didn't feel sorry for him. Look global. My Ferrari F90. Each one is a unique existence. Not to mention Mr. Manzoni. The bonus of personally handling the process. As for you, this crappy bike, you even want me to find someone to fix it for you. I don't have that time. I earn money in an hour. I didn't even know I could buy this. How many broken locomotives are there left? There is 100 yuan here. That's enough to compensate for your crappy bike, isn't it? This motorcycle looks so ugly. It's just so ugly. One more second dirties my eyes clearing the sky. Now that I've paid to buy it, then it's up to me to handle it. 2 tigers. Smash it for me. Li Jiazhen threw a bank card onto the ground. Then he turned to look not far away. A burly man was standing there. He was from the previous live stream. They really didn't notice. Li Jiazhen even got out of the car. At this moment, the name was Yor, a person who looks like a tiger bodyguard. After hearing Li Jiazhen's instructions, he immediately started swinging his arms. He started walking toward Hai Xiaomei's scooter. During this time, the burly man even casually followed. He picked up a brick from the ground. It seemed he really wanted to listen to Li Jiazhen. Smash that motorcycle to pieces. Looking at the burly man holding the bricks. My little sister says it's fake not to be afraid in her heart. But he couldn't just watch quietly. His beloved motorcycle was smashed. Stop it. Stop. Don't touch my motorcycle. My little sister, muster up your courage. Walking the burly man's way. But the burly man didn't even glance at him. She immediately pushed him aside, saying the burly man lifted up the brick in his hand. He was about to smash down the motorcycle. Hai Xiaomei was so anxious that tears burst down instantly. It fell down with a loud clatter. Ming, I don't want your money. Don't smash my car. Well, right there was a brick in the burly man's hand. Just as it was about to land on the motorcycle, a muffled sound suddenly rang out. Then Hai Xiaomei looked up. On her pretty face still streaked with tears. His expression immediately froze. Several people dressed in suits. Foreigners suddenly appeared. Then he directly took out Li Jiazhen's bodyguard. He pushed it 7 or 8 meters away. Hai Xiaomei still hadn't reacted yet. A foreigner with a head full of silver hair. The old man rushed out. He rushed to Hai Xiaomei's scooter. He then put on a mournful expression and said, "Oh God, who did this? Who did this to you? I want to curse him on behalf of Jesus. Curse him!" The old man spoke as he spoke. He actually wiped away his tears. This time it was more than just a dumb spot. My little sister was a bit stunned. Li Jiazhen, standing nearby, was even more displeased. Yu Wei frowned. What? Looking at the old man and those few, a foreigner in a sharp suit. Li Jia. Shen didn't dare to be too arrogant as he spoke. "Who are you?" Li Jiazhen's voice slowly echoed through the scene, but the foreign old man didn't even glance at him. Instead, he muttered to himself while talking. He turned his head excitedly to look at Hai Xiaomei. "This honorable young lady, I am a LaSalle group dragon, the chief of the Guadar region. Before 20 minutes, the information department under our group found it. The gentleman named Shang Ping was there. Through consultation with Mr. Jiang Ping, that's how we know. The speed exceeded exceeded 600 kilometers per hour. The magical locomotive is yours. Now on behalf of Le Group, greetings to the esteemed lady, and we hope you can take this prestigious car. The locomotives were resold to us. Of course, please rest assured, we will definitely give it to you. A satisfying price. The old man's eyes gleamed with excitement. My little sister really felt a bit uneasy, and he spoke fluent Chinese. These words were spoken out loud. It was even more embarrassing for Hai Xiaomei. The expression faded away. As for the countless viewers in the live stream, after a moment of silence, the whole situation exploded. Damn it, I heard it right. The foreign old man meant the motorcycle chasing the high-speed train was the old woman's own. It was highly praised by countless bloggers. A legendary bike that has already become legendary in the motorcycle community. It turned out to be Fei Jie who created it. Isn't it said that this is capital? Is it a marketing campaign? Daughter-in-law. Give me a slap in the face. Damn, watching the live stream feels like I'm hallucinating. Seeing that Hai Xiaomei was still at it, in a daze. Mude then turned his head and looked expressionlessly at Li Jiashen. Then Mude gently waved his hand. Several men in suits beside him. A sturdy foreign man. He immediately walked toward where Li Jiashen was. Saying this, Li Jiashen's throat writhed as he swallowed hard. His voice stammered a little. What are you going to do? Now it is a society ruled by law. Hitting someone is a crime. Li Yashen hadn't finished speaking. A muffled thud rang out. He saw those few burly foreign men. It wasn't aimed at him at all. Instead, it bypassed him. He directly drew his riot baton and smashed it into the area. His multi-million-dollar sports car. After one stop, another squirrel. The clash of metal and metal was heard without end. Echoed through the scene. Not even a few seconds left. Li Yashen's Ferrari sports car, which was still flashy and impressive. It was smashed to pieces. Look at this scene. Li Jiasen couldn't help but look away. He began to convulse violently. What? Because of those few, the imposing presence of foreign men, he didn't dare say a single word. Not far away, the girl Hai Xiaomei. At this moment, he was already stunned. I was out of the mood, staring at the vivid scene before him. He hurriedly said, Uncle Mude, I never said I wanted to sell you the scooter. Hi, little sister. Thought Mude was standing up for her. But hearing this, Mude slowly shook his head and said, My esteemed lady, what does it matter if you sell it to me or not? The locomotive has nothing to do with it. He hurt this god, a gift to humanity. Of course I have to punish them back. What a perfect motorcycle, all because of this foolish guy. Now there are flaws. He shook his head and said to Hai Xiaomei. Mu then looked coldly at Li Jiasen. Your car is now scrapped. Later we will visit the Sile Group. They will compensate you with an identical car. But, the damage you do to this locomotive. We are the Le Group. I am unwilling to fully represent this honorable one. The lady is suing you legally. If the locomotive casing can, it would be best if it were restored to its original state. It can't be recovered. Then you will face the most severe legal punishment. We are the entire legal department of Lai Sile Group. This incident will be regarded as the most important matters are dealt with it. Of course, before that, I need to remind you, the exterior of this locomotive and its terrifying stability is a very direct connection. Currently, this technology is available worldwide. The inner capital has never appeared. Mude's words were as precious as gems. The atmosphere echoed continuously at the venue. Li Jia was completely stunned. Just thinking about what he was about to face was the entire legal department of the multinational group. Li Jia really couldn't help but tremble. As for the countless viewers in the live stream, because of Mude's words, they finally understood. Why would Mude be chosen as the regional chief of staff, standing up for Hai Xiaomei to this extent? Get to the root of it. The reason is still Shenyang Aircraft Institute. This locomotive was built. Uncle Mude, I am truly thankful. Thank you so much. But I still can't sell you the motorcycle, but you can fly. Brother, place the order there. Shen Fei, do you know? My motorcycle is just flying. My brother made it for me. Mention the name Shen Fei. My little sister is looking all over right now. The expression of the little fangirl. But Mude heard the words. Suddenly he shook his head and gave a bitter smile. Since we found you, Miss Butt, for the real nature of this locomotive, of course the source is also clarified. At the very first moment, we've already given it to Shen Fei. The gentleman placed an order, and to him solemnly. Cooperation intention was initiated, but Mr. Shen Fei gave it a lesson. But our response was, not interested. Mr. Shen Fei only sells products, do not sell patents. Of course, if we can study and understand Shenyang aircraft. As for the gentleman's motorcycle skills, he also allowed us to use it. However, some patent fees are required. That's why we are so eager to think about it. Or so, my esteemed lady. I am leasing this to you on behalf of the group, a magical locomotive for a while. It won't be too long. 3 days is enough. 3 days later, I will complete the locomotive, then hand it over to you. Moses' eyes looked expectant. He looked at Hai Xiaomei and said, and upon hearing his words, Hai Xiaomei didn't refuse. It's only a 3-day rental. He could still accept it. As for the millions of viewers in the live stream who heard this, chat exploded with comments again. Is this my idol Feige? Mute, is this my idol Feige? This is too handsome. Only selling products like Guo Xiaomei. No selling patent fruit or little sister. Facing a large group like Helasi. Brother Fei is not tempted at all. I already imagined the little sister. Feige is very likely to refuse. It's an astronomical figure. Nonsense. 10 million locomotive wood. Old said it was already smashed. The price offered to Feiji was still unacceptable. Breaking 9 figures. All I can say is Feiji made it. Certain technologies embedded in locomotives. Its value is immeasurable. Oh, Feige is great in every way. The problem is that there are too many orders. When will it be my turn? Countless viewers in the live stream were discussing the situation. You simply can't stop, and the smart ones have already arrived in my live stream. Although, as usual, my live stream room is still only used to take orders. It will never premiere. But at this moment, viewers flooding into my live stream room. It had completely broken through the sky. 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, until the live stream room became a hot topic for a moment. After reaching 8 million, only then did the growth begin to slow down. And now my pending orders. It has already surged to over 800 yuan, and this number is still in a certain form. Very BT speed growth. The most crucial thing is these orders, and the price is ridiculously high. Currently, the top 10 orders are in the highest order. The lowest prices are already available. It broke through 1 million. They're all here to get me a motorcycle. Top 5. These are the major locomotive manufacturers, and the prices they offered were already set. It reached as many as 3 million. Obviously, they were also following a SILE team. The group shares the same purpose. That is to buy a motorcycle I built, to study what I have applied to the technology on the locomotive. But what disappointed them was, so far, I haven't taken any orders yet. In the live broadcast room, countless netizens have been criticizing motorcycle manufacturers. Everyone is waiting for me to take orders, but several hours passed. On my end, there was still no movement. It seems I don't have it at all right now. Follow the live stream room updates. There are quite a few motorcycle enthusiasts. He was getting a bit anxious after waiting. They all rushed to Galaxia, the group's official website. After all, now they are the only ones. The group holding Shen motorcycles. And even if I take orders, at most he would only answer one of them. But what if it comes to SILE Group? There has been a breakthrough in this area. The outcome is completely different. Maybe in the near future it will be possible. Everyone owns a Shen Fei motorcycle. Old. After researching, I figured out what a Brother Fei's motorcycle was on the menu. We're just waiting for you to make it. If you could build an identical locomotive, we all buy from you. Yes, okay. Can it fulfill our motorcycle dream? But it all depends on you. Agent Group. Can you come to SILE? Or not. No hand over the locomotive to us for research. Timber locomotives. That's always true. No, just switch people. Don't just stand in the outhouse without pooping. And I see the official website. The message section that was distributed was also posted. Now it was as exciting as it could be. Not just ordinary locomotives. The enthusiasts came over to urge him. Even the major locomotive manufacturers. Everyone came over to give me a la seal. The group is under pressure. Under such intense pressure. La Seal's official website is also moving very quickly. He responded within the specified time. Regarding the locomotive built by Mr. Shen Fei. After comprehensive testing, we sincerely apologize to those who follow Kelasiel. Dear fans of the group, first of all, the locomotive built by Mr. Shen Fei. In certain technical aspects, we are, for now, he simply couldn't break through. It is estimated to take at least 3 years. Secondly, after testing, we found out the top speed of this locomotive. It's definitely not just over 600 kilometers per hour. Instead, it can reach 798 kilometers per hour. Nearly 800 kilometer. And this was because Mr. Shen Fei used it. The material is not the best. Some materials seem to be Mr. Shen Fei. It's a deliberate way to save money. If Mr. Shen Fei doesn't save money, then we believe in the speed. It can easily break 800. At last, let's come to Sal Collection. The board of directors collectively decides he will initiate a campaign against Mr. Shen Fei, an indefinite invitation to collaborate. He is already the future and hope of the motorcycle world. The locomotive will shine endlessly because of him. This announcement from Lazy Group, it was packed with information. Once released, it was like being dropped on a calm lake, like a huge stone. It stirred up waves of commotion. Not only were countless netizens stunned, they're all the major locomotive manufacturers. They all fell silent. It's really numb. 600 is still not top speed. Even 800 can easily reach it. 5J's build isn't a motorcycle at all. It was clearly a ground-based flying aircraft. The motorcycle will continue to shine because of Phage. Remember, this is a listing. The group's evaluation of Brother Phi. No wonder Phage dares to say it. Let them study it freely. Even patent fees can be discounted. Turns out Phage had known about Lazio all along. There's no way to figure out anything at all. Only I noticed it. Saved a few words on materials. Phage really is swindling old women out of money. To put it nicely, it saves materials. To put it bluntly, it's cutting corners. Phage truly has no regrets. The title of a dishonest merchant leader. Still the same sentence. You can trust Phage's skills, but his character is eternal. It's not worth paying close attention to Rui more. I'm going to laugh like crazy. I just want to know about Phage's too. How much money did Dan actually make? I'm absolutely curious. Comments kept coming one after another. I simply can't stop at all. But there is no doubt about it. This statement from Lazio Group was announced, completely shut down Shen Fei and his Super God manufacturing shop, elevated to an unparalleled level. Everyone finally understood the Super God manufacturing store. Fulfill all your fantasies. This is the shop's slogan. It's not that my Chunibu literary tendencies are acting up high, but it is the fact. Therefore, in a short period of time, my manufacturing store orders started again. This marked a new round of surges. Any netizens who were not interested in motorcycles, and finally let his bold imagination run wild. They started placing different orders for me inside the suburban manufacturing store. I really didn't continue. Pay attention to the online news, knowing that Haisho Mei relied on the motorcycle I built. After causing a sensation across the internet, I immediately used the system. Many devices were purchased, placed in my own craft, inside the factory building behind the shop. The truth behind the fact that fame attracts controversy, I can't possibly be unaware of myself. Now the internet is paying such much attention to me. One day I'm a little one. Manufacturing stores will be exposed. If someone finds out I'm here, if the manufacturing shop is just an empty shell, that's still quite troublesome. Fortunately, there's still more behind my manufacturing shop. A factory building occupying a very large area. I was in the system mall. Any devices were purchased. He moved directly into the factory building. At first glance, my manufacturing shop is now. It was quite impressive. But these devices also earned me my money. The money for both orders was almost gone. My account balance is only available now. Less than 2,000 yuan remained. He clapped his hands. The hands were stained by the factory construction. Dust is wiped clean. So I sat back down in front of the computer. Plans are in place to start taking on a third order. Now there are 10 million points left to complete the system. Points upgrade tasks. But there was still a long way to go. But as soon as he opened the live stream, looking at the shop, I had an impression of the first thing. Several slogans in the column. My eyelids couldn't help but feel uneasy. He twitched slightly. The tech expert gave 1.8 million likes. Snail efficiency 960 likes. An incompetent streamer who never goes live 740 likes. If we talk about these Shen Fei companies, if you can still accept it, a shady merchant boss 578 million likes. What the hell is this? Larynx. Isn't it just a slight cost saving? Just a tiny bit. You can't just focus on the materials, not looking at anything else. I couldn't help but mutter. Never mind. Forget it. Merchants are just scoundrels. It was all forced by the system, and they only guessed that I was making money. Specifically how much money they earned. Definitely couldn't guess either. I said with considerable confidence. But at this moment, a system notification sounded. It left me completely stunned. Wait. Cyclical financial reports are being generated. It is expected to be generated within a week. At that time, the system will automatically check the host. The live stream will be used to release the financial report. The system's gentle voice was there. A voice echoed in my mind. But at this moment, I felt the system. The voice was so cold. After a full 10 seconds of silence, only then did I start roaring with a dark face. System. I said, are you kidding me? This is a small manufacturing shop of mine. It's not like it's some publicly listed group. What kind of financial report are they supposed to publish? You made me cheat you for money. Now you turn your head around. You still want to stab me again? Are you still human? Or do you think I've lived too long? I want those customers to come and kill me. My chest heaved violently. The murderous intent in his eyes seemed to linger. It was about to materialize. In other words, the system is invisible and intangible. Otherwise, I really want to give it some dignity myself. For now, netizens are still just here. Guess how much money I cheated. Wait wait until the financial report is released. I think the reputation of this unscrupulous businessman is, whether it's confirmed or not, doesn't matter anymore. I'm just afraid that one day he might do this. The address of the manufacturing store was leaked. The blades at the door piled up like a mountain. I'm so angry I feel like I'm practically smoking. But after the system sounded the prompt, he then fell into complete silence. My roars just a tiny bit. There was no response. Took a deep breath. I knew I had nothing to say to the system. This system is purely here to play with him. I sat up straight in front of the computer again. I continued with a dark face as I started. Picked out the orders. What? Looking at the dazzling array of orders. And it's high price. My mood actually eased a lot. Although we have announced our firm at Khaleesi Le Group, the locomotive technology for the time being made could not be broken through. Major airport manufacturers have all given up. Prices did not continue to rise. But now the prices for the top few are high. I'll reach 3 million, up to 3.5 million. At this price, I'll accept a few more locomotive orders. But he could quickly raise 10 million. System upgrade points. Upgrade the system to the 3rd stage. But upgrading the system is certainly important. Enjoy the process to the full. Challenge and break through the self. I think it's more important. Otherwise, the system will be upgraded to the next level. 3rd, even the 4th, 5th, and 6th stages. The functionality has been greatly enhanced. I might not be able to keep up. The system steps are in place. My thoughts reach this point. I stopped what I was doing, planning to wait until the right time is right, and then take the order. Or, if you wait a bit longer and there really aren't other orders. So I picked the highest price to take the order. But at this moment, an order suddenly appeared. Stomach reliever, fat toddler at the order back end, 30420. Receiver gastric shadow checked fat carrier and directly risen to 310420. The demand discharge device will also unload the car, and it directly surged to 3100 to 420. In the first place, originally ranked first, the order amount reached 350. Over 10,000 locomotive orders. He pulled them far behind him. I was slightly taken aback by what I saw. Then he casually opened it. Details of the order. At first glance, I couldn't help but furrow my brows slightly, but I watched it 2 more times. My eyes grew even brighter. It's you. As I took on new orders, this caused a huge uproar online. I used the Tiger Shark live streaming platform. In the live stream room of the shop, millions of spectators gathered here, looking at the order I accepted. Everyone was dumbfounded. Dummy Technology Dumb was actually Danny Technology. Brother Phi's full name. Has it already reached Lei Yun? Isn't this really the big secret Lai Shun? They placed an order for a new energy vehicle for Phi. Don't think about it. Definitely yes. Order amount 999 million yuan. I could recognize it even with my eyes covered. This is the price Mr. Lei is offering. Song is so confused. You have to give up 999 million. How much is Feiji going to trick? And Feiji only sells them. Products don't sell patents. 999 million yuan to buy a car. That's way too expensive. I always feel like Feiji is a crafty businessman. The boss is fishing. Now it seems to be Lady Boo. This big fish was caught. Ha 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 ha. The kind where you make 10 million and then quit. If so, Feiji can retire with this order. Anyway, I think DRA is always the best. Feige is going to get messed up badly. A motorcycle and a car are 2 completely different things, especially new energy vehicles. The technological content is truly overwhelming. That's not even one. Something people can accomplish. Yes. Yeah. Back when Brother Fei gave Hai Shomei a scooter, you all say the same. You say computers and motorcycles are fundamentally different. But what about the result? Alright, enough arguing. After all that talking, he couldn't come up with anything useful. What was Li Bu thinking? Why not just go to Daumi Group and ask about it? Millions of viewers in the live stream chatted until the end. They all left my live stream room. He left a message at the bottom of the official Daumi website. At that time, Daumi Group is located in its headquarters building in Yanjing. Many directors of Daumi Technology gathered together. The argument had already turned into a pot of porridge. All this, it's all because of Lei Bu's support. The order I placed. At that time, countless netizens might not have been aware of this. Rebus placed the order for me. It was entirely by himself. People make the final decisions. Simply didn't go through the board. The board members agreed. Now this matter has begun. While the internet is fermenting, the directors of Daumi Technology's board of directors, they couldn't help but slap the table at Li Bisit. Mr. Lei, you must give us an explanation for this matter. We've all heard of Shen Fei. He's very powerful, but that was only limited to computers and motorcycles. And our Daumi Auto, from the start of development until now, no less than several hundred billion had already been invested. Something that couldn't be developed even with hundreds of billions. hands. Now you have 10 million. It was handed over to a manufacturing store on a live streaming platform. Small bosses do it. Isn't this nonsense? Vice Director of the Board of Dami Group. Meantime, Lin Jiangcheng, who is also the General Manager of Dami Auto's division, he said, frowning deeply, his reckless shout. This was undoubtedly an extreme pickiness. Rebus authority. And the board members are right. This was nothing unusual. There was no expression of surprise on his face. In fact, they all knew this in their hearts. Lai Buzi appeared to outsiders. He is the absolute representative of the Dami Group. But in the past 2 years, the Lin faction, led by Lin Jiangcheng, is gradually overshadowing Rebus Square, especially a year ago. Lin Jiangcheng, after becoming the chief RD head of Dami Auto, the situation has changed. It only gets worse. Lai Bu did not pass by. Board resolutions. So he went straight to my place. Orders for new energy vehicles. In Lin Jiangcheng's view, this was nothing short of a disaster. Booth swung a knife at him. That's why he was so emotional. This is something anyone with keen eyes will see here. They had already figured it out. Group directors in the conference room. They exchanged a few glances. They all turned their heads in unison to look at Zua, Rebus at the chairman's seat. I wanted to see how he would respond. Lin Jiangcheng's words. Regarding the current internal struggles within Dami Group, none of them have yet started to take positions, logically based on Labus's deeds over the years, and his position within the Dami Group. They have no reason to do so, not siding with Rebus himself. Lin Jiangcheng was about this. People are no ordinary person either. It is said that he stood behind him. The big shot from Yanjing. Our ancestors once contributed to the progress of the times, the kind that has made huge contributions. Now, things have developed to this point. I all sensed a faint scent, the taste of a decisive battle. He just didn't know this time. Who would be the one like Boozy could get rid of Lin Jiangcheng? The Dami Group regain full control of your own power. It was Lin Jiangcheng who had surpassed him. He completely crushed Rebus Rash. Only a 10 million limit for control. Could it be that I spent 10 million? I still have to inform you. Facing Lin Jiangcheng's words, Lai Buzi was quite impressive. Dan Fengqing smiled gently. When the group has significant expenditures, then a board meeting is necessary. Conduct collective resolutions. But at the very least, that's not enough. Expenditure of the amount of the million. Now it's only 10 million. He really hadn't gotten involved with Lin Jiangcheng. The necessity of the board greeting. Upon hearing this, Lin Jiangcheng looked up at Lei Bisi. Suddenly, waves of emotion appeared on his face. A mix of sorrow and anger. He pressed his lips together, his expression unusually grave. Lai Song's 10 million is a small amount, but his influence on Dami Group, but I don't know how big it is. Could it be that? Do you really not understand? It's about you placing the order for that Shen Fei company. Within less than 15 minutes of spreading, Dami Technology's stock price on the Hong Kong stock market began to fluctuate. Now our shareholders, everyone is questioning the strength of Dami Group. A listed company is currently the most focused. A new energy vehicle sector. But he had to entrust it to someone, the owner of a small manufacturing shop. Keep going like this. The Dami Group could destroy you in an instant. I suggest immediately stop cooperating with Shenyang Aircraft on orders. You personally announce all of this. It was just a misunderstanding. At the same time, investment in Dami Auto will also be increased. Let stock investors see this. Our Dami Group, determination for the new energy vehicle sector. Lin Jiangcheng's expression changed. Heavy to the end, the excitement. His words were passionate and passionate. That kind of appearance. It was as if he was the only one there. It's as if they're thinking of the group. And after hearing this, Lei busy. But he couldn't help but laugh heartily. The smile on his face was even more intense than before. And even more brilliant. Take a look. Director Lin's acting skills are really impressive. If you ask me, Director Lin, you're not as good. He debuted directly into filmmaking. I pack my tickets. You will definitely become a best actor. Lai Bu Zivor a cheerful smile. But what he said was, like slaps one after another. He slapped Lin Jiangcheng right across the face. The meeting room was instantly engulfed in a moment. In the deathly silence. Any directors looked at Rebus S. couldn't help but shudder. It was as if only now did they recall the person standing before them. But Rebus was at the peak of his career. At its poorest, he only had 4 billion. At the same time, the two horses were still in the same period, waiting quietly in a corner. And on the faces of these directors, subtle changes in expression. None escaped Lin Jiangcheng's notice. Thunder echoed in his ears again. Booth's sarcastic remark. Lin Jiangcheng's expression was already pale, gloomy to the extreme. Mr. Lei, what do you mean? Are you repenting and insulting me? Lin Jiangcheng's deep voice remained. The room echoed through the room. Lai Bu slowly retracted. A smile appeared on his face. You said, my decision led to fluctuations in Dami Group's stock price. Then I want to ask you, endlessly investing money into Dami Auto, but I don't see any results. Can that really keep Dami Group's stock price from fluctuating? It's been a year. Lin Jiangcheng, I have no patience left. You say I'm remorsefully for you. Aren't you humiliating yourself? Lai Buzi looked coldly at Lin Jiangsheng. She was nothing like her usual kind demeanor, a terrifying sense of unfamiliarity. And when Lin Jiangsheng heard his words, fell silent. A full few seconds passed. Lin Jiangsheng slowly raised his head. Since President Lai has already said it, at this point, then I have nothing more to say. I want to sign a betting agreement with you. 3 days. Give me 3 days. If I can't lead Dami Motors, they produce the first car from Dami the 7. Then I will hand over the general manager of Dami Autos division, this position. But if I finish, you need to resign from your position as executive director. Mr. Lei, I wonder if you dare to take it. Lin Jiangsheng finished speaking. The meeting room immediately erupted. Waves of noisy sounds of splendid flowers resound. The board members guessed the two of them. Today might be a big game, but he never expected it to be this big. Mr. Lin, think again. Don't be impulsive. Mr. Lei, President Lin is just saying it out of anger. Don't take it to heart. Oh dear. Two ancestors. It's all quiet down for now. Have a cup of tea and talk slowly. Speak slowly. The board members began to exchange their words. They all tried to persuade Lin Jiangsheng and Lai Busy, but Lin Jiangsheng was concerned about the surroundings. But the voice of the person was ignored. He just stared straight at Lai Busy, acting like he wanted to follow Lei Yong, a posture that decided life and death, and facing Lin Jiangsheng like this, a piercing gaze. But Lei Bu suddenly became somewhat calm. He slowly leaned back against the seat back, then casually handed over a document. He threw it on the table. Since it is a gamble, then why not play bigger? I will serve as the executive director of Dami Group to release an announcement. 3 days later at Beishan Square, held the launch ceremony for Dami Auto. You are carrying the Dami Group 7. I took the car that Shen Fei had given me. See what happens then. Is it you who wins or me? If you win, I can not only execute it, the director's seat was handed over. I can even reduce my holdings in Dami Group stock. But if you lose, I don't want to see you in Dami anymore. All the shares of Dami Group you hold, and must sell them all off. Lai Buzi's voice was not loud, but his words struck like thunder. The explosion echoed in everyone's ears. No one expected this. Lai Bu actually made it ahead of schedule. The performance guarantee agreement was drafted. A dozen or so people in the conference room. After the director snapped out of it, everyone turned to look at Rebus in unison. He thought he must be crazy, judging from Lei Yun's bet on agreement. Now Lin Jiangsheng is truly the same. They have taken full advantage of both timing and location. Anyway, Dami Auto has been developing for a whole year. Countless funds have been invested, and now Lei Bu actually wanted to bring only his 999 million yuan. Partner Shen Fei, come and make a bet with Lin Jiangtong. This is almost like Lei Yun bringing Shen Fei. They're enemies of the entire Dami Group. Many directors looked at each other with great admiration. A complex look flashed through his eyes, a hint of absurdity and heartfelt respect. They never imagined there would be a day Rebus will act as an outsider, to personally confront the great secret he had created with his own hands. And what they can understand is, Lei Yun's approach is neither right nor wrong. Personally, he is either good or bad. But for Dami Group, it was the best, because, regardless of whether Lin Jiangsheng and Lai Jun succeeded or failed, Dami Group will always be the ultimate winner. The internal conflict between Lin Jiangsheng and Lei Yun, it will quietly nourish things in this way, and quietly end it in a way it won't cause any negative effects. Most people don't. Knowing about this, one must always think of this household. Every board member in the conference room was speechless. He cast a respectful look at Rebus C. At least at this moment, Rebus has already been in character. He completely conquered them. But when it comes to interests, in the end all the directors present did know how. He chose to stand behind Lin Jiangsheng because Rebus proposed this. From the moment the performance agreement was made, not a single one director believed he could win 10 million in funds. 3 days. No matter how powerful Shen Fei is, the outside world has already promoted him. He became a godlike figure. They also didn't believe Shen Fei could do it. Create a game that can conquer all. New energy vehicles for people. Mr. Lei, why are you bothering about this? We do have differences in some areas. I admit it too. He wanted to become the executive director of Dami Group, but I never thought of driving you out completely. Lin Jiangsheng's gaze lingered on Lai Busy and the table. Betting agreement was opened. His gaze showed a hint of hesitation. Rebus is indeed doing well. It was quite shocking to him. From the very first day he entered Dami, Lin Jiangsheng knew Lai Busy. It's a tough nut to crack, even though he had the backing of Yanqing. This made Lai Bu See, deeply wary. Over the years, he has been everywhere in Dami. He was being ruthlessly suppressed by Rebus himself, those who entered at the same time. Partners of certain large corporations, but they have already secured their core positions. Only he was occasionally marginalized. And now Rebus is betting on this bet. In Lin Jianqing's view, the agreement was, undoubtedly they still have the upper hand. Rebus in form. Suddenly he waved his own flag and announced surrender. This was really hard for Lin Jianqing to understand. Society is developing rapidly now. The next huge opportunity was looming. Maybe 5 years. Maybe it only takes 3 years. He will appear. I don't want to be because of you or me. This hindered the development of Dami. I hope 100 years from now, Dami can still stand at the forefront of this era. So all of this will eventually come. Now, it's just a bit earlier. Faced with Lin Jianqing's words that reveal one's true feelings, Aibu didn't press anyone further. There seemed to be a tense atmosphere in the conference room. Vanished in an instant. Lin Jianqing looked at Lai Buzi with a confirmed look. There was silence for a full 10 seconds. Then he leaned in slightly. His voice was full of respect. Mr. Lei, I'm not as good as you, but don't worry. The great secret in my hands. I would definitely take it further. After saying that, Lin Jianqing stood up and took it. Bet on agreement. He signed his name decisively. He immediately stood up. His expression returned to its initial coldness. Mr. Lei, I truly respect you. But this time, have no way to win. Right after you gave it to Shen Fei, 2 hours before ordering our Dami Auto. Breakthrough progress has already been made. 3 days later, 7 will be a champion, leading the ranks of new energy vehicles. Please wait and see. After saying that, Lin Jianqing turned to face him. Outside the conference room, they began to walk out. Many directors of Dami Group present saw this. He hesitated for a moment. They all got up and began to leave, one after another. Not on after. The conference room was huge. Only Chi remained. Chi. The sound of a chair being moved rang out. Lai Buzi walked around the conference table. He slowly walked to the conference room. In front of the floor-to-ceiling window inside, looking down from here, you can see the bustling whole city. After a long pause, Lai Buzi took his seat. He finally murmured to himself, Willie Yang Ding Lo. He's the one I've seen until now. The most stunning young man. There is a very familiar feeling. Just like myself back then. I know. He was far more outstanding than I was when I was younger. In Rebus Stadium, he pinned down all the treasures. At the same time, Shen Fei was on his body. Inside the suburban manufacturing store, I had already stepped into the system. Inside the super laboratory, Bus placed an order for me. Netizens know about this. The next is new energy vehicles. Everyone knows the order, but the specific order details. But only I know this alone. At this moment, standing in the super laboratory, inside the primeval forest, I recall Lubus and the foreign liquor. 1,000-word order content. He couldn't help but press his lips together. The first sentence of the order. Rebus is telling me not to put any pressure on me. He knew to let me do within 3 days. Creating a model that is sure to catch people's attention. New energy vehicles are quite difficult. Even if I failed, Lai Buaz wouldn't ask for money for the order. Nor would I publicly declare my failures. Let's be honest, Rebus truly lives up to his name. When I saw these words, I already wanted to do it. The thought behind taking the order. After reading the order, Li Buzi was present. After conceiving new energy vehicles. So I firmly decided to take on this order. Gear-based balance shafts, composite materials, production costs, batteries, motors, electronic control, and so on. And most importantly, the intelligent driving system. Mr. Lei, you really dare to make demands. It's challenging, but in my opinion, good. But it wasn't good enough. Mr. Lei, wait for me to give you a big gift. After this, though I opened the system store, they began to select new energy vehicles for this project. Materials needed for the car. Although it was an excellent case for Rebus, I admire entrepreneurs quite a bit, but I went all out. There's no way they'd go all out, because I had one more important thing before. The reason for receiving the order was not disclosed. That means $999 million as long as I put in the effort and save enough money. The third phase of that system. Then you can start it directly. This temptation was just too great for me. Lifting the beams. It took more than half an hour. I finally finished this new energy vehicle development. All materials needed for automotive experiments. Total price $98,000. After I paid, Lai Bus transferred me $999 million. A whopping 892 million yuan remains, plus the points he earned from Hai Xiaomei earlier. Start the third stage of points. But That's more than enough. But the third phase is truly about to begin. We'll have to wait until Lai Jun finishes it. Only after placing this order can you proceed. Otherwise, he awakens the third stage. Top military manufacturing. I can also give Lei Bu this one. New energy vehicles add some tough twists. But now, I can only perform as best I can. It's my own imagination. And one more important point. Although they failed on Reba's side, they said they wouldn't recover the money from the order. But the experiment failed. The system will directly check me as failed, even if the money can't be recovered. I also won't get points for system upgrades. Looks like I'll have to work harder from here on. Fortunately, there should be enough time. I muttered to myself a couple of words. I immediately poured all my energy into it. And the manufacturing of new energy vehicles. I stayed up all night in the super lab. When he started working hard and buried himself, little did they know it was already early outside. It was already an explosion. All of this is naturally because of this. The announcement issued by Dami Group 3 days later at Baishan Square. Dami Auto will be here with everyone. Witness the miracle happen. Dami is born when there is a fever. Place an order for me in Rebo City. After the news spread, already countless netizens. They all rushed to the Dami official website platform. Originally, everyone wanted to find out what exactly was Labus thinking, but who would have thought? The Dami official team gave them a big deal. Did I come to the wrong place? This is definitely not the location of a major sci-fi film. At first, I thought President Lai just wanted to comply. Tiger got a car to play with. Who would have thought he could go all out? 3 days. Just 3 days. Witnessing miracles isn't like this. I think since Dami Group has already announced it like this, let's just wait and see. 3 days later, it was the sudden shot. Come out for a walk with the horse. Countless netizens were buzzing with discussion. It seemed Bao Jing instinctively believed. 3 days later at Baishan Square, Dami Group is about to show you something. It's Lai Bu who gave me the drop. That car order. As for Lai Busi and Lin Jiangsheng, internal betting agreement. No one knew anything. Such a scene must be exactly what it is. Bus hopes to see this. That is regardless of whether Shen Fei can do it in 3 days. Successfully build the car. Dami Group has already done so. Establish yourself in an invincible position. And because of me, now everyone is concerned about this match. Dami Group's new energy vehicle launch event. Bao Jing was full of interest inside the suburban manufacturing store. At this moment, I am deeply concerned about the outside world. He was completely unaware of any movements. At this moment, I am fully immersed in it. In the midst of new energy vehicle development, he had previous experience building locomotives, completing the construction of a car frame. For me, it wasn't difficult. After all, the two actually have something in common, and it has a system that is era-breaking. With the help of fully automated equipment, I didn't have to put in any effort at all. This allows the materials to be made to meet the required standards. Parameters you want. So in the super lab, it took me about 10 days. In other words, it is equivalent to the outside world. In less than half a day, I've already built the initial framework of the car, as well as combinations of various components. This speed is what makes some of the world go global. The most professional automotive group greets you. They must be left speechless. After all, I didn't have it. In any case of templates, based on your own preferences for the most functional aspects of a car, designed in excellent condition after completing the initial construction. Next, what I need to build is this. Some details about it. For example, new energy vehicles are the 3 most important components: battery, motor, and electronic control, etc. These things will determine what Shen Fei builds. How will new energy vehicles perform when they come out compared to the first step? This process requires Shenyang aircraft to consume. The time will be a bit longer. It took more than 20 days. That's how I managed to get it all done. So far, I am already in the super lab. He stayed for a month, and in front of me, a complete new energy vehicle. It was already right in front of me. Now, just give this car. Battery is fully charged. Then it could immediately race down the main road. But I know, if I were to end the experiment now, the system probably wouldn't give it to you. I passed the exam with a passing score. In other words, the system will be direct. I judged that this experiment had failed because of the order label placed for me. Now I'm only halfway done. The car in front of him could have best be considered just that. A regular car with a good presence. It can't even be called the best top-tier new energy vehicles, because it still lacks the most important thing. Currently, new energy vehicles have the biggest selling points. Intelligent driving system. Call. I took a deep breath. I knew this was just the beginning. The real difficulty of the experiment begins. He adjusted his mental state. Once you feel your energy is full enough, so I dove straight into the smart system. In the process of building the driving system, time flows like sand at your fingertips, slipping away quietly without warning. 3 days passed in a flash, and after breakfast on the third day, at the large square at the foot of North Mountain, the crowd had already surged forth. A colorful flag with the 4 large characters Dami Group written on it hung high, fluttering in the wind. It could be faintly visible even hundreds of meters away, and not just ordinary people. For this match, which had been brewing for 3 days, Dami Auto launch event. Very interested. Some business tycoons have all gotten up early. Some of them sat in front of the TV with some anticipation, waiting for Dami's press conference to begin and leave the broadcast. Inside a quaint villa in Shenzhen, Renji, chairman of Huawei Group, while making tea himself, Quanzhang was brewing it himself. He kept looking up from time to time. He glanced at the screen in front of him. Dami Group's press conference, although it hasn't officially started yet, but the live broadcast had already begun. The scene in the picture is packed with people. Huawei held a press conference, much more spectacular. For this phenomenon, beside him was Ren Jiken's little niece Jiang. Jiang Qian couldn't help but pout and said, "Great courage. This is too outrageous. I know that Shen Fei is very popular. It's amazing. One person created it. Currently it is the fastest in the world, the most stable locomotive. Let the whole capsule come to see Lei. The group is eager to recruit talent, but Dami and our Huawei are the same. Currently, it's clearly not the same scale. I don't know. I still think Dami is actually the largest tech company in Longo." Jiang Qian wore a straight face, a very unhappy expression. She was deeply doted on by Ren Jiken. She was standing in front of Ren Jikun. He always said whatever was on his mind. Ren Jiken looked at him, a beloved little maid. He couldn't help but shake his head and laugh. "Qian, today be careful and careful. Watch this live stream. I believe you will learn a lot. Dami Group may not be as good as Huawei Group, but in terms of ability, even 10 of your uncles can't compare. One is Rebus Bus." Ren Jiken sighed seriously. His words may have been somewhat low-key. The flavor is inside, but it was obvious that Ren Jiken, an evaluation of Rebus, it had reached its peak, and after Jiang Qian listened, a pair of beautiful big eyes, even though he couldn't help but dodge. She swayed coquettishly, gripping Ren Jiken's arm. His voice was sweet and sweet. "Uncle, did you notice something? Just tell me. Let's talk about it." Ren Jiken looked helpless upon hearing this. Looking at his little wife, he picked up his teacup and took a sip. After tea, he finally spoke. "Okay, good. My uncle said, Uncle Lai with your move." It was obvious they were taking advantage of the situation, borrowing momentum. Jiang Qian tilted her little head. His face was full of confusion. Ren Jiken paused for a moment. After a breath, he continued, Qian, actually, you can already see it. Like you said. Dami can't be compared to Huawei. Why is it that today at Dami Group's car launch event, it's even more important than the recently launched ZG7? The commotion is even louder. This is all because Laibu borrowed the momentum of a young man named Shen Fei. Speaking of the end, Ren Jiken couldn't help but look at him with deep meaning. He looked at the screen in front of him. At this moment, the screen displayed. The press conference officially began. There were less than 5 minutes left. Meanwhile, Jiang Qian standing nearby heard this. Her beautiful eyes immediately flashed. He couldn't help but widen his eyes. Great courage. You mean Lai Bus placing orders for Shenyang aircraft? He definitely wasn't expecting Shen Fei to stay in 3 days. In a short time, a new energy vehicle was created. They just want to leverage Shen Fei's recent traffic and popularity to promote their own Dami Auto. Ren Jiken smiled and nodded at her words. Qian, you really hit the nail on the head. Actually, after this incident came to light, many fellow entrepreneurs, just let me breathe through it, ask Rebus what he really thinks. Among them are Neo and Bide, boss over there. In the end, I just asked in return. They had a problem. They understood it themselves. That is when they developed cars. How much time has passed, and how much money was invested. Cars are different from computers and motorcycles. It's much more complicated, especially new energy vehicles. A young man named Shen Fei was very outstanding, but it takes 3 days to build it. A new energy vehicle will be released. How is this possible? But Shen Fei was a kid. I really do like it. Nowadays it's rare to find something this hard. A highly skilled young man. I have already asked the Huawei HR department. He signed an employment contract for Shen Fei. I believe he will be moved. Mention the name Shen Fei. Even deep in Ren Jiken's eyes, he couldn't help but feel it. A rich appreciation was passed through. Jiang Qian was curious upon hearing this. He couldn't hold back any longer. After all, she knew herself. My uncle has always been known for his generosity. Uncle, what price did you offer Shen Fei? Ren Jiken turned his head upon hearing this. He looked at Jiang Qian and then said, great courage. Of course I want to know. Xing Jiang nod. Like a chick pecking at rice. Renji Qin didn't keep him in suspense. The conditions I set for Shen Fei, except for giving him a portion outside of Huawei's shares. He will also be given at least a minimum each year. A salary of 300 million yuan annually. And a salary increase the following year. Not less than 10. Anyi Qin's voice was heard. A slow sound echoed from inside the room. The expression on Jiang Qianshan's little face. He was instantly stunned. He had thought that Ren Jiankun would give it to Shen Fei. They offered a very high price. But no matter what, he never expected it would be such a sky-high price. Let's set everything else aside for now. Just that 300 million yuan annual salary. All of this is enough for Warwick to hire a full one. All our high-tech talents 30%. A medium-sized team. He was stunned for several seconds until the screen not far away. After the Daomi press conference officially began, Jiang Qian finally recovered from her shock. I was out of the mood. She looked up together with Ren Jiankun while looking at the live broadcast. Xiao Zuo couldn't help but mutter, unless that Shen Fei is blind. Otherwise, he would have refused at all. No way to get such a sky-high price. The Daomi Group auto launch event officially began. Over 5 million netizens were united in their opinion. All of them flooded into the live stream room. The live comments instantly flooded the screen. The staff responsible for managing Daomi's live stream room, looking at the back-end data. But he couldn't help but be a bit stunned at the same time. There were thousands of comments containing the words, dummy. It seems like that's already enough. But the comments contained the words Shen Fei. There were as many as 70 to 80,000 entries. Although these Daomi Group staff members, he had long been mentally prepared. But no matter how hard they tried, they never imagined it. Come see them. Netizens at Daomi Group's new energy vehicle launch event. More than half of them were actually coming for Shen Fei. In a live stream, viewers, while the enthusiasm was high. On the other side, Rebus had already walked onto the stage. He greeted the audience at the scene. After simply announcing the official start of the press conference, Rebus then handed over the home court to Lin Jiansheng. Meanwhile, Lin Jiansheng walked onto the stage holding a microphone. The person at the very center spoke directly. I know everyone today. What is the purpose of their visit? So I won't sell Guanzi. Next, let's invite this session. The main character of the press conference appeared. As Lin Jiansheng's voice faded, all 5 live broadcast cameras on site, they all pulled their camera aside. There was a car with a gorgeous exterior and a sleek design. It was being driven by staff from Daomi Group. Lin Jiansheng looked at the car. His eyes were filled with confidence and pride. After the car was driven to the very center of the stage, Lin Jiansheng then held the microphone and began to explain. This car has its own functions, from the interior to the exterior, from battery life to hardware features. Lin Jiansheng's voice paused every time. Loud applause would ring out from the audience. Many industry insiders listened to this. Lin Jiansheng's introduction. They couldn't help but nod repeatedly. I think the features of this car are quite commendable. Fully equipped with current new energy vehicles, a column of automobiles, and the millions of viewers in the live stream room. The situation had already exploded. No, Feige didn't cheat Rebus this time. The exterior and interior feel like they really spared no expense. Grandpa is a young man. Feige is no longer the same Fei J. It's how to say it. Although this car is quite impressive, but it didn't give it to me any stunning feeling. It's not much different from most new energy vehicles. Feige really is only good at computers and a motorcycle thing. Come on, 3 days. Feige can do this for Rebus like this. One car is already enough. Wait a minute. Wrong. Look at the big screen. It seems this car wasn't built by Fei Ji. Just in the live stream room there were millions of viewers, while everyone was discussing the topic amidst the huge LED on stage. After the big screen flickered, lines of text and images, suddenly it flashed out. Lin Jiansheng turned to look at the countless people in the audience. The audience smiled and said, everyone. The car released by Daomi Group is called the Sevens. I am leading the automotive division of Daomi Group after more than 300 days and nights. Dedicated, the first generation new energy vehicle created by Daomi. I know there might be more. Many areas are imperfect. Not enough to stand firm in today's new energy sector. A pinnacle of the car. But I hope everyone give us a little time. Daomi Auto will bring even greater surprises to everyone. After Lin Jiansheng finished speaking, Seen in some loyal fans of Daomi immediately started applauding. Inside the villa in the deep city, Renji Qian looked at the live broadcast in front of him. He said with an expression of complete understanding, Did Tian Qian understand now? Daomi 7 is just average. Attracting such a huge amount of attention is already quite remarkable. If things continue like this, although Daomi Auto may not be selling well, but it's like knocking on the door to new energy vehicles. Isn't Uncle Lei's marketing skills really impressive? If he hadn't come up with it, it was thanks to Shen Fei that he gained such a huge amount of attention. Daomi Auto. I guess it won't even make a splash of water. Alright. Keep reading slowly. Uncle still had things to attend to. I won't accompany you, Ren Jiqin said, as he spoke. He was about to get up and leave, but at this moment, suddenly the screen came through. A voice asked, Mr. Lin, about Mr. Lei, placing the order for Mr. Shen Fei. In these 3 days, the news had already spread across the entire internet. Everyone thought that this launch event for Downy. What I want to show you is Shen Fei, the car built by the gentleman, but from beginning to end. This launch event was held with Shen Fei. Mr. has nothing to do with it. I would like to ask, did Mr. Shen Fei fail? He was unable to complete it within 3 days. Cars that meet your requirements. A reporter on site raised the question. He asked seriously into the microphone. Energy had already started walking. Saying this, Kwon hesitated for a moment. He sat back down in his seat, and countless people in the live stream rooms have been talking about this. The question is extremely interesting to the audience. They all perked up their ears at the first moment. Lin Yansheng on the stage remained calm upon hearing this. He smiled. Then he turned his head to look off stage in the direction of Rebus. I think about this question, and it was personally handled by President Lei himself. It's better to answer this for everyone. Lin Jiansheng looked at Lai Busi in the audience. A smile couldn't help but spread across his face, the posture of a victor. And after his voice fell, everyone turned to look at him in unison. He checked the direction where Lai Busi was. At this moment, Lai Bu quietly sighed. Then he relaxed his expression. It seemed he had already prepared himself in his heart. Preparations for this situation. But at this moment, a pungent dish smells like a tractor. Suddenly the sound of driving broke through. The scene fell into silence. Suddenly the sound of a tractor hit. This left everyone present stunned. Keep in mind this is a high-tech new energy vehicle. A car launch event was held at the scene. The sound of the tractor is coming from here. It was also somewhat discordant. After the moment of shock, everyone turned their heads together to look, heading toward the direction the voice came from. At this moment, the tractor billowing black smoke. It had already stopped at the far east of the square. Immediately after the tractor was on the verge of collapse. The car doors opened from the inside. An old man with dark skin. He then walked down from above. Zayn, so many people staring at him. The old man was also a bit nervous, but then he seemed to be. Something came to mind. He then shouted loudly, "That's Boss Lei. A boss named Shen asked me. Car I pulled for you has arrived at S." The old man's voice was rough and loud, echoing through the scene. Everyone instinctively looked over the rear bed of the tractor. He saw through the rear bed of the tractor some piles of firewood in the crevices. He could vaguely see it. The corner of a car. At that moment, Lai Busi realized what was happening. He quickly walked up to the old man. "I am the boss you said." "How? It was Mr. Shen Fei who asked you to give it. The car I pulled. The car's right behind you, right?" At this moment, the excitement on Lai Busi's face was on his face. The meaning was already impossible to hide. Although it was a bit late, but Shen Fei was still at the end. At the critical moment, the car was delivered to him. But just as Li Bu talking, one side was about to lift his leg toward the tractor. As they walked toward the rear truck bed, that dark-skinned old man. But he suddenly stopped Lai Busi. "Boss, Ray, it cannot be washed. You can't watch it yet. You haven't paid for shipping fees yet. I had to drive for several hours before I could get there. I brought the car here for you. Mr. Shen said to let me go. No matter if you want shipping fees, just spend," the old man said anxiously. Upon hearing his words, even on Lai Bu's face, their expressions were momentarily stunned. Millions of viewers in the live stream. He burst out laughing in an instant. "I'm not kidding. I just took a sip of water. It sprayed out directly. I can't. Let me laugh for 3 minutes first. Give Rebus a tractor. Transporting vehicles is one thing. Shipping is still cash on delivery. This move is truly unmatched. Familiar taste. Familiar recipe. Tiger really is still the same Feiji. Aha. Look. Lai Bu was starting to question his life. Brothers, it's comfortable. I'm done. That's how it feels. Countless viewers in the live stream were overjoyed. The crowd burst into laughter. Only that old man wore a blank expression. He watched Rebus warily. He acted as if he wouldn't let you see the car unless you pay. And after Lai Bu came to his senses, her eyelids twitched violently twice. Then he waved his hand behind him. A woman who looked like a secretary. He hurriedly walked over. She took out a few hundred yuan from her wallet. After handing the money and cash to the old man, only then did the old man take it with him feeling satisfied. Lai Bu began walking toward the back of the truck bed. After a while, the old man lowered the truck bed railing. Only then did everyone get a clear look at Shen Fei, the new energy vehicle they built. But after seeing its design clearly, everyone Everyone present was slightly stunned again, because it is comparable to most new energy vehicles on the market. The designs are all quite different. Take a closer look. It's as if the older generation has long been around. The discontinued 86. Hiss. Could it be that Fei is a fan of Takumi Fujiwara? So I got an 86. The styling is out. All I can say is seeing this car. A wave of retro vibes spread across the area. I quite like it. Okay. I think Feiji is a shady businessman. Or they just find it troublesome. Or it's just to save money. He directly bought a battered used car. Newly modified new energy vehicles. The truth. Oh, upstairs you really know Feiji, eh? While the audience was buzzing with discussion, on the other side Rebus was already eager. Climbed onto the tractor bed with the troll. All 5 camera positions for live broadcast. All in it at what I have built. This car came out, not far away. Bao Ying stepped off the stage. Lin Jiansheng looked over here. His face was completely uninhibited. An expression of indifference. Several directors from Dami Group stood beside him. At this moment they had already moved ahead. He congratulated Lin Jiansheng. Lin Dong. Congratulations. Congratulations. At Dami 7 you led the way in building. Today can truly be called a complete success. Not bad. From now on, our Dami has finally been fully opened. The door to the new energy vehicle ranks. Director Lin's contributions cannot be overlooked. I just checked. Our Dami Group's stock price, in just a few minutes, it has already risen by 0.5 percentage points. I seem to have seen it under Chairman Lin's leadership. A scene of Dami reaching a higher mountain peak. Several group directors surround. Lin Jiansheng sighed. Smiles piled up on his face, and Lin Jiansheng heard them bow. Such compliments. The wrinkles at the corners of the eyes were also involuntarily caused by. She smiled and pressed it into wrinkles. He lifted his chin slightly. He pointed toward Lei Buzi and said, "Everyone, it's still too early to talk about all this. We haven't even seen the thunder ourselves yet. He spent 10 million to hire Shen Fei. Cars built or not?" Lin Jiansheng said with a cheerful smile, but there was contempt in his eyes. "Just look closely and you'll easily see it. And right now, it seems like Lei Bu is back again." "What happened?" Accompanied by the sound of murmurs, Lin Jiansheng squinted and looked over the other side. Ibusi has already left behind through Shenyang aircraft. The car key opened the door. The interior of the car is on par with most new energy vehicles. The car also shows no differences, but the problem lies with Rebus. The moment you try to start the car, the truck is still in the tractor bed now. The bracket is already set up. Just wait for the car to start. Just drive the car out and you're done. What? Lei Bu pressed down after the one-touch start button, but the car showed no reaction at all. See this scene? The many viewers at the scene and in the live stream room. He couldn't help but start discussing. Damn it, did Feiji fail? Why won't the car start? It seems that 3 days really is too short. Feige guessed that part wasn't properly fixed. It's over. Feige's lifelong reputation was about to be ruined. The car couldn't even start. What's the point of doing this? Balanced. I finally felt balanced inside. Otherwise, compared to Feiji, I always felt like I was useless. The scene was filled with noise. Ibuzi was frowning. Check where exactly the problem is. He was a technical heavyweight, more or less for cars. I still know a little, although it can't compare to some high-end cutting-edge products. Professional talent, but still more than ordinary people. No one knows how much stronger it is, and it doesn't matter if you don't check. After a check, Ibuzi was starting to lose control. Electricity. The car ran out of power. Lei Bu slumped into the back of the car. Even he couldn't help but curse. Several lines of black appeared on his forehead, and his voice came through the scene. After the live broadcast device was transmitted, the rumbling noise instantly vanished into thin air. A huge Baishan plaza. Everyone fell into a deathly silence. The silence at the scene lasted for a long time. It took several seconds. Laughter erupted immediately. It rang out right at the scene. Many people bent over laughing, unable to straighten up. He simply couldn't straighten up. I was almost laughing so hard I was about to cry. Many people have only heard of it. The famous unscrupulous merchant of Shen Fei. There is no concrete concept yet. Today they finally witnessed it. And those in the live stream who already run. Viewers who came to Shen Fei. He was already overjoyed. I can't let me catch my breath. Just make me laugh to death. Familiar taste. Familiar recipe. He was still that dishonest business leader. I thought Feiji wouldn't even have a tank of gas. Adding it to Dai Xiaomei is already to the limit. Unexpectedly, Lai Jun's situation was even more pitiful. Feige wouldn't even charge a single case of battery. 10 million orders. 30 yuan worth of electricity is reluctant to charge. Looking across the entire business district, it's the same. An extremely explosive presence. Everyone else is the customer, but the customer is king. When it comes to Feiji, he treats himself like a god. I guess Lai Yun didn't expect it either. His name belongs to Feiji. It doesn't work at all. They'll keep getting tricked as they please. Ha ha. Definitely. Haven't you seen President President Lai in the whole situation. Are people a bit confused? It can make billionaire tycoons lose their facial expressions. Only Feijie could pull it off. Rebus leaning against the car seat. At this moment his feelings were truly overwhelmingly complicated. Thinking more carefully what he gave Shen Fei, those order requirements were made. Lai Bu was starting to lose hope, but at this moment, Lai Bu's phone suddenly rang. He instinctively took out his phone and glanced at her. Then the expression on his face couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. Rebus originally thought it was some kind of business, a message from a companion to him. Well, unexpectedly, it was Shen Fei. Through the Tiger Shark platform, he sent him an order receipt and wait for Lai Bus to release Shen Fei. After reading the information from the previous group, his brow furrowed instantly. They were tightly twisted together. Shen Fei, what exactly are you trying to do? Is there any comparison between the two? Lai Bu owned himself to be able to do it. The voice he heard murmured. Then he fell silent. A full 10 seconds later, waiting for the staff of Dami Group Tow. Mobile charging stations were all pulled over. Only then did Lai Bu stop thinking. I was out of the mood. That's all. Things have come to this point. He had no choice but to trust Shen Fei. Rebus took a deep breath, and he crawled out of the car. Right after that, he was in his own secretary. A few words whispered in his ear. He then started heading straight for the outside of the court. The audience at the scene saw this. I thought Lai Bu was being struck by me. He was so angry, he stormed out of the arena. In an instant, I couldn't help myself. Discussions began to spread. The female secretary watched the scene. For a moment, he lost control. He hurriedly stepped forward to explain. That press conference for our Dami group didn't end there. President Lai just told me, after fully charging the battery, we'll officially begin showcasing Mr. Shen Fei for use. This car, built by Dami Group. Please be patient. After saying this, the female secretary stepped aside. The person responsible for monitoring is now giving it a try. Matters related to car charging. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of spectators at the scene, and millions in the live stream room. Viewers heard the female secretary's words. Instead, he chose to wait quietly. If it were another company's press conference, everyone waited for more than half an hour. Who knows how many people would have left early, but because of me, everyone was truly patient. After about 20 minutes had passed, the roar of cars echoed through the air. Suddenly it rang out. Everyone had already been a bit bored waiting. Hearing such a thunderous roar, immediately quite a few people turned their heads to look. Only the area of Baishan Square was visible. In the open area of the mountain pass, one supercar after another suddenly filed out. All of them stopped steadily there, looking closely. At the very least, there must be a dozen or so vehicles. Among them are Ferrari and Lan. Top-tier supercars like the Bordini. Extremely eye-catching. They say sports cars are a man's ultimate romance. Seeing such a spectacle, everyone's attention was drawn to it. Many people hurriedly took them out. The phone started taking a photo, and just as everyone's attention was on it, when these top-tier supercars were on the road, Lai Buzi's voice suddenly passed through. The loudspeaker went off. In the time that followed, I want everyone to enjoy a racing feast. All of these are part of our Dami group. They specially selected the world's top supercar series, and their drivers. They are all very professional drivers. Lai Buzi's voice echoed above the entire square. The scene immediately erupted. Waves of cheers erupted. No one expected it to happen today. Such an explosive show. Millions of viewers in the live stream. They couldn't help but erupt in excitement. Damn it. President Lai really lives up to his reputation. Every time we hold a press conference, the effect of the festival is maxed out. Listening to the roar of those supercars, it really felt like his blood was boiling. But this is Dami's new energy vehicle, car launch event. They brought in a bunch of top-tier sports car races fueled by fuel. Is this really good? It is. What exactly is President Lai thinking this time? They were afraid of their own Dami car. Will it sell too well? Why are we so fussy about that? If there's a show, just watch it. Wait a minute. Wrong. Whoa. And am I dazzled? The viewers in the live stream chatted until the end. Suddenly, he was startled. And everyone at the scene. The expression on his face froze even more. Only the path leads to the northern mountain plateau. At the starting line on the highway, more than a dozen supercars were making their moves. A series of thunderous rumbling sounds, like beasts ready to strike. And right now, Lai Buzi piloted Shen Fei, the car that was built. It stopped in the middle of more than a dozen sports cars. Such a scene left a strong impression on everyone, like a pack of steel beasts. A little lamb sneaked in, and not just a little. But not just a sound. After a second of silence, the noise of the roar was like a tide. It erupted in a general way. Mate. Wife, give me a slap quickly. Why am I hallucinating in broad daylight? Not an illusion, but is President Lai crazy? Allow me to appoint the general. A dozen supercars racing. Lai Song wanted to drive one. Two energy vehicles are competing. Lamborghini, Ferrari, Koenigsegg. I always get to see these cars. All the exhaust is considered my loss. All I can say is Lei Jun's move this time. I give the show's effectiveness a perfect score. This is absolutely the most I've seen so far. The most explosive car launch event ever. It's not just ordinary viewers who are shocked. At this moment, it was Lin Jiansheng standing in the stands, and other directors of the Dami group. Everyone was stunned, jaw dropped. Several seconds passed. Lin Jiansheng was the first to snap out of it, and he couldn't help but wipe the corner of his eye and say, Mr. Lei, you want to prove it yourself. How useless that car was. This is the highlight hour. Is the 7 really that powerful? That's enough. Mr. Lei, you are for me for Dami Group. That's already enough. Whether you are or not in the future. Executive Director of Dami Group, in my heart, you will always be worthy of respect. Lin Jiansheng was full of emotion and emotion. True feelings are revealed. It really seemed like he was struck by lightning. Booth was deeply moved. Meanwhile, the other directors beside him, hearing Lin Jiansheng's words, he instantly realized what was happening. So that's what happened. How much of a commotion President Lei is making. After 7 is the case. How good is it to sell? If you ask me, Chairman Lin has a clear perspective. He immediately saw through the whole story. From now on, under Chairman Lin's leadership, Dami, we will surely become bigger, stronger, and achieve greater glory. Under the watchful eyes of Lin Jiansheng and the others. On the other side, the racing race. The countdown has begun. More than a dozen supercars are gearing up. A fierce roar shot straight up to the sky. In contrast, Rebus is driving. Shen Fei brand new energy vehicles. Like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. All they could do was wait quietly. A dozen supercars crushing the crowd. Finally, the countdown ended. After the gunfire of the signal gun rang out, all of the more than a dozen supercars dashed out in a flash. That kind of leaping stance. The audience at the scene was thoroughly thrilled. Next, everyone turned their attention to Lai. The car Booth was driving got in. Laughter began to rise and fall one after another. The acceleration of new energy vehicles it needs to be faster than most fuel vehicles. That's just like an ordinary one. Compared to fuel vehicles, compared to these real supercars, that would be a bit of small feat. Lai is a starting point. Lai Bu was left behind. A distance of dozens of meters. A few seconds passed again. Lai Bu and those supercars. The exhaust is nowhere to be seen. However, at this moment, Lei Jun was. In honor of the chairman of Dami Group, his identity was revealed. Responsible for remote-controlled drones for follow-up photography. The staff are very considerate. A total of 5 drones were used for follow-up filming. 2 of them have been following us all along. Behind Lai Bu's butt. That's it. Rebus drives the car. Finally, we arrived at Baishan Panshan. At the first bend of the road. The audience in the live streaming room had already stared intently. He threw it toward the spot on the square. On the huge LED screen, followed footage transmitted by drones. You can clearly see it on top. Oh, of course, everyone is paying attention. Those scenes of supercars. Regarding the movement on Lai Bu's side. Hardly interested. He just glanced casually, so I had to keep watching those super games, scenes of speeding along. But it was that one glance. No one's eyes could move. Some people at the scene couldn't help but exclaim. A scream of disbelief. In the footage, Lai Bu was driving a car. The speed had already reached 120 kilometers, although it can't compare to those supercars. But it's definitely not slow. You should know that regular highways are the fastest. That's why you can drive at that speed. And in this high-speed driving state, Rebus actually squeezed through the corner directly. Not even a second left. And passed through that curved curve. Brothers, I read that right. Lai Zong never slows down on the curve. I was stunned. Why does it feel like Lai Zong is on a curve? Living better than those who drive over clock. Professional drivers are fast. No need for feelings. It's faster than those supercars. I was just trying to keep track of the time. Among those supercars, the fastest is Koenigsegg. It took 12 seconds to get through the first corner. But Lai Zong only managed 6 seconds. Twice as fast? Boy, I originally thought Lai would always show off his car. After all that fuss, he was going to do it. Show off your driving skills. All I can say is laugh. Now I'll be Lai Zong's #1 car tech fan. The viewers in the live stream were buzzing with discussion. They all began to focus their gaze on them in unison. On the footage of the car, Lai Jun was carrying in that pose. And as time went on, everyone watched with growing more and more shocked. Originally, everyone thought it was a spoiler. Booth didn't slow down on the curve, taking corners with flares already the limit. But unexpectedly, this was only the beginning. Boy, downshifting heels. Follow the trail and brake. Pressure pendulum activates drift. May I ask, is Lai really not retired? A professional F1 driver? Although these were already harsh enough. But But a more intense feeling is yet to come. Truth shifts its center of gravity. Ensure the front of the car can be suspended, creating an overtaking route. Navigate it and drive to do the minimum. Counterattacks within the range. This helps control tire consumption. The most terrifying part. Still, Damalai always manages to make use of it. Inertia causes drift. It feels like Lysong's driving skills are like Initial D. Even Fujiwara Takumi in the show is on par. I would like to call him Takuri Fujiwara. At this moment in the live stream room, the live comments were already exploding. No one expected this racing event. It turned out to be such a scene. Among the many supercars and professional drivers, Rebus actually became one, a well-deserved protagonist. And the winding mountain road of Bishan. Curves are mostly the main driving styles. Rebus was driving the car. Beneath all kinds of exaggerated techniques, it has already sprinted straight from last place. He reached the top spot, and then it even pulled up to second place, nearly a kilometer away. A group of professional drivers in the past who was surpassed by Rebus in the past. Looking at that new energy vehicle that didn't even exhaust gas, his face was filled with a look of doubt about life. Ray, so am I a professional driver, or are you a professional driver? So am I driving a supercar, or are you driving a supercar? On Baishan Square. At this moment there was no trace left. The sound could be heard again. Everyone was full of admiration, his gaze fixed on him as he looked up. A lady large screen was exposed. The car booth was driving, and among the crowd, In Jinshan and a group of Dami group, the directors exchanged a pleasant glance. They all saw the confusion in each other's eyes. When did President Lai start learning such a masterful driving skill? Who knows? President Lai usually has many hobbies. Maybe you can do it when you're young. Spray. It feels like Lai Zong can just retire directly to compete in professional racing. I'll definitely book the whole venue and invite everyone to see it. Ha. That's what you said. Let's form a group then. Go watch Lai Song's match. Alright, stop it all. Lai Song's driving skills are quite impressive. You won't think so? This could be even better than a professional racer. All these drivers were hired by Mr. Lei. Who knows how much water they put in? Hearing Lin Jiangxing's last sentence, everyone nodded in agreement. At this moment, at the foot of the northern mountain, Rebus drives the car. He had already slowly appeared. Everyone's view. They remained calm on their end, but with tens of thousands of spectators present, but he couldn't stay calm at all. Laibus hadn't stopped the car yet. Cheers rose and fell one after another. It was above the entire square. But what no one knew was, at this moment Leibu was still sitting in the driver's seatway. His eyes were filled with early trouble. His face was filled with shock. He looked at the steering wheel in front of him. Unable to hold back his throat, he swallowed hard. His face was full of disbelief. This state lasted for quite some time. It lasted more than 2 minutes. Even other professional riders, they all circled around Baishan. After reaching the finish line, Lai Buzi took 2 deep breaths. He slowly pushed open the car door and got out. Lai Bu had just gotten out of the car. Those professional drivers came one by one. They all gathered around. Mr. Lai, you're just joking with us. Hosting the Baishan racing competition. Call us all over. The first prize was 5 million yen. Each of us gave it our all. But who would have thought you were the one who didn't show your true self? His driving skills are almost on par with F. Can't run. They simply can't outrun. The riders said with bitter smiles. His eyes were filled with thunder. Booth's admiration for his driving skills. As the saying goes, outsiders watch the spectacle. Insiders look at the doorway. Lai Bu's driving skills are truly remarkable. From the perspective of these insiders, it was also extremely explosive, especially since Lai Bu had surpassed them earlier. The smooth and fluid operation of the car. But they were all stunned. Professional drivers all have a strong impression of Rebus. Driving skills are highly esteemed to such an extent, not to mention ordinary people. There were tens of thousands of people present. At this moment, everyone gathered around to shout, Mr. Lai, you're way too fierce. The match just now was simply worse. Foreign blockbusters are all good. Lai Song still takes on disciples. I want to learn driving skills from you. Lai Song will release a tutorial on driving skills. I learned on my knees. Mr. Lai, I'm going to give you a monkey. The audience was highly engaged. The shouting is getting more and more outrageous. Rebus took the microphone from the secretary. He coughed slightly. The murmurs at the scene instantly erupted. More than half of it had already dissipated. Immediately after, he faced countless people. Excited eyes watched. Lai Buzi spoke slowly. What do you think of it? As he spoke, Lai Buzi slowly stretched out. He pointed to the side. Everyone followed Lai Buzi's finger. They turned their heads in unison when he saw that Lei Jun was referring to Shenyang Aircraft Corporation. After a building this car? Just as everyone was about to comment, who had thought of a single dish of poo flavor? Suddenly the sound rang out. All 4 tires of that car were visible. 3 suddenly cracked open. The last one left. It also started to get a bit off. And it's not over yet. After a series of faint clicking sounds, suddenly there was a noise inside the car. An even louder voice. It seems the motor has burned out. After a moment of silence, the scene was silent. Laughter erupted loudly. How much money did Shen Fei actually make to Lai Zong? Not even charging the battery is one thing. The quality is just terrible. This is the first time I've seen a new car finish running, and it turned out like this. Felt like President Lai was somewhat lucky. Who says not? I bet President Li's legs are shaking now. If the car had a problem during the race just now, if you want to see President Lai, you have to go to him. Burn paper on his grave. It feels like this car built by Shen Fei. This limited Lai Zong's driving skills. If he had just driven a supercar, I could hardly believe that was a real event. What a visual feast. Lai Zong won one more time. This time I used that Koenigsegg to run. Yeah, President Li, please. The audience at the scene all shouted out. Not far away, Lin Jiansheng and the others gathered. The group director looked at the car almost. Cars that have already been scrapped. They all shook their heads and laughed. Only Li Buzi was watching. The car in front of him. It didn't seem to be on his face any unexpected expression. It seems everyone is quite interested in this car. The reviews don't seem very good. So be it. Let me show you something to admire. Xiao Zhang, you put the video on your phone. Play it on the big screen. Lai Buzi said as he spoke. He took out his phone and handed it over. He had already been his secretary. Until now. Deep in Lai Buzi's eyes there was still a lingering thought, lingering traces of excitement. Upon hearing this, the beautiful female secretary, he quickly nodded. Then he took Lai Bu's. The phone started walking off into the distance. As for the many viewers at the venue and in the live stream, they were all momentarily stunned. Clearly they couldn't quite figure out Rebus himself. What kind of trick is he trying to pull? Patient nature. Everyone turned their attention there. A massive LED screen. After the female secretary finished the operation, a scene immediately appeared on the screen. Wow. This is the footage of Lai Jun inside the car. This is interesting. I really want to see what President Lai really is. How did you end up driving like that? Lai Zong was magnanimous. I absolutely have to learn this video from every session. Naps. Don't even say you want to learn. Have you seen those professional drivers? They all took it out with serious expressions. The phone started recording. Everyone stared at the big screen. His eyes were completely unbearable, afraid of missing out on some exciting scene. Meanwhile, on the big screen, the roar of a dozen sports cars. They had already started ringing out one after another. Clearly it was about to be done. Footage of the start of the game in the shot. What? Lai Bu wasn't there at this moment. Put your hands on the steering wheel. He just held up a finger. I tapped on the main control screen. The next second, a beautiful female voice signaled. The sound suddenly passed through the big screen. Message reached both the live and live stream rooms. In every viewer's ear. Ding ding. You have chosen full intelligence. Autonomous driving features. Please fasten your seatbelt. The wonderful prompt sound is very pleasant. But at this moment, these 2 sentences, but it was like a sudden thunderclap. It struck everyone's ears. The expressions on everyone's faces. Everything froze completely. Not far away, Lin Jianqing and the others gathered. The director of Dami Group looked utterly incredulous. He wondered if he had misheard. Fully intelligent autonomous driving. Could it affect those professional drivers in supercars? It's not Mr. Lai at all. But this car. Middle-aged director couldn't help but swallow his throat. He swallowed hard. The voice trembled. This shocked many new energy vehicles today. It claims to already have autonomous driving capabilities. But in fact, these senior officials all knew this well. Currently, this is what is called autonomous driving. It is still in the testing phase. At best, it can only be called an assisted autonomous driving function. In other words, it can automatically avoid obstacles, emergency braking, etc. Like the Dami 7 personally released by Lin Jianqing just now. It can autonomously drive to the very center of the stage. This is already a powerful feature. When Lin Jianqing showed it to everyone before, the audience cheered enthusiastically. The applause was thunderous. This is evident, but now what they heard was some kind of supernatural words. Fully automatic intelligent driving functions. Just have Rebus fasten his seatbelt. If it had been a racing race just now, it really entirely built by Shenyang Aircraft. This car is finished. Rebus from start to finish. If you haven't even touched the steering wheel, they really don't know. Shen Fei's car. What will the entire new energy vehicle industry? What a a sensation it caused. Oh, compared to this car, all claim to have autonomous driving, functional new energy vehicles will be pressed down to the ground and rubbed hard. No way! This is absolutely impossible. At most, this is probably just one way. Driver assistance features. That operation was simply impossible. It was done by just one car. How did this technology appear now? Even if it goes on another 10 years, it's impossible. After Lin Jiansheng snapped back to reality, he exclaimed somewhat out of composure. Compared to other directors, he knew better what it really was. What an outrageous thing. Bin Dong. Don't rush just yet. What exactly happened? Let's keep reading and find out. At this moment, another director squinted and said, "Hearing this wife." Lin Jiansheng pressed his lips together, immediately furrowed his brows tightly. He looked at the big screen. Other ordinary viewers were after the shocking child. He had already stared straight ahead. On that huge LED screen, the scene of the match had already begun. After Lai Bu fastened his seatbelt, he comfortably leaned back in the car seat. There was no movement at all. Soon the straight track ended. Camera moves to the first corner. At this moment, everyone instinctively said, held his breath. 6 seconds passed in the blink of an eye. And when that 6-second shot appeared, after this appeared in his mind, everyone suddenly felt their scalps tingle. A chill came straight from everyone. The soles of her feet began to rise. He darted all the way to the crown of his head. Numb? I was completely numb. If I read that correctly, from beginning to end, Lai Zong was counting on one finger. He didn't even touch the steering wheel, did he? The bends that dazzled my eyes didn't slow down. It turned out the car really was built by itself. Remember the thunder just now. Overall expression. It seemed that Lai Zong was also startled. Mad. Who wouldn't be shocked? I've never heard of one. The car will race on its own. The live stream was flooded with comments, so it erupted in a general way. Everyone was stunned by this scene. It left her jaw dropping. And this is not the end. One bend after another, time and again overtaking others. Downshifting heels. Follow the trail and brake. Pressure pendulum activates drift. Fast shifts its center of gravity. Ensure the front of the car can be suspended, creating an overtaking route. Navigation drive to do the minimum. Counterattacks within the range. This helps control tire consumption. Utilizing inertial drift. Even professional drivers find it difficult to perform superb technical maneuvers. Countless spectators watched in shock. The car was used by itself. The further he went, everyone was even more shocked, especially at 108 seconds. That beautiful notification sounded again. Ding-ling detected that the tires and motor were overloaded. A malfunction is expected after 8 minutes and 7 seconds. Other parts are currently intact. You can drive with confidence. Listening to it coming from the big screen. These two notification sounds. Everyone instinctively choked. Wriggling swallowed hard. Turns out the tire and motor issues have long been ongoing. This car is under inspection. Even the time was accurate to the second. It's simply impossible during the racing process. Any dangerous issues arise. I'm damn convinced. Completely convinced. I originally thought it would go over 800 kilometers. Motorcycles are already Feige's limit. Who would have thought that in just 3 days? Feige was once again stunned by my jaw. Feige has been crowned a legend in my heart for the nth time. From computers to motorcycles to new energy vehicles. Where exactly is Feige's limit? Never thought of a person. It can be this impressive. May I ask, is it still too late for me to start school now? It was the first time I experienced knowledge and the charm of technology. Previously, some guys speculated that it would fly. I'm already 60 years old. If you ask me, Feige isn't 80. Simply not possible. This requires a lifetime of studying various technologies. That's probably how we achieved such results. A live stream room is nearly over 10 million. The audience was buzzing with discussion. I simply can't stop at all. They looked at the car on the big screen that was still in the air. A car in a fully autonomous state. Completely no less than reality. World saw Ultraman. I saw the light, and not just for ordinary viewers. Utterly shocked. It was just a group of people watching. Our business mobile and live streaming. Their expressions were stunned. Inside a standalone villa in Shenzhen, Ren Jiqian looked at everything before him. His breathing grew slightly rapid. Not long ago, their Huawei also just had a break. They released a Huawei model for them. New energy vehicles. CS Ninan. This car was launched from the moment it was launched. It has completely crushed a slew of new energy vehicles. Thanks to its autonomous driving capabilities, successfully entered the new energy sector at the very top of the car lineup. But at this moment, ZS9, Autonomous Driving and Shenyang Aircraft Institute, the car it creates is. Ren Jiqian had no idea. What should I say? There's the ZS9. What kind of autonomous driving is this? It's practically like a child's toy. Recalled how he asked the Hawaii HR department the 300 million yuan annual salary offered to Shen Fei. Ren Jiqian's face grew even more flushed. Huawei spent over 20 billion yuan. On RD, they barely managed to build the CG-9, and the car Shen Fei built single-handedly can transform their intellectual realm. 9 press and rub on the ground. Shen Fei alone's value. A group of masters and doctoral graduates hired at higher salaries than him. Countless times more terrifying. 300 million. And Jiqin felt it was more than that. It was a slap in the face to Shen Fei. It was even a slap in his own face. Qian. This time the eldest uncle was wrong. It's outrageous. It was never like this from the start. Marketing campaign by Lei Bu. It was a solo show by Shen Fei. I underestimated Shen Fei. He alone was worth not knowing. How many top-tier research teams long ago has such talent? It is the fortune of the entire country and its people. After a bitter smile, Ren Jiqin's face was beaming. He showed an excited expression. This moment, whether Shen Fei can be used by Huawei depends on that. Seemed none of that mattered anymore. He was fortunate that Shen Fei was from Longo. As for Jiang Qiangshan, standing nearby, then the scriptures will be prematurely accepted and not accepted. Any word from Ren Jiqin? At this moment, her gaze was fixed intently on the screen. The eyes are full of little stars. But it has completely become so. My little fangirl. On the big screen, after the 10+ minutes of video playback, everyone turned their gaze back to the center. On the car I built, the first round of applause. It rang out in the silence. Immediately after it seemed to cause a stir. It's like a chain reaction. The scene happened in the blink of an eye. Applause erupted thunderously. Everyone looked at the car. Everyone feels like it's a new energy vehicle. The golden age of automobiles is about to arrive, and at this moment, inside the car where the tire was scrapped and the motor burned out, suddenly that beautiful notification sounded again. Dingling also has a voicemail here. Car owners are asked to review and inspect the inspection. Excessive permission to detect emails. Emails will now be automatically played for car owners. A sudden sound. Everyone was stunned. Before anyone could react, a magnetic voice was passed out from inside the car. Hello, Mr. Lei. I am Shen Fei. You should have heard of it too. I only sell products and not patency. Who can study and understand oneself? Just give me some royalty fees. But this one is what I call it. Dami Sugang's first generation new energy vehicle. I'm willing to sell you some of its patents. No way. I've been a bit short on money lately. If President Lai had thought it through, that can be done through the order receipt. Communicate with me about the method. My words slowly echoed across the entire square. The scene instantly fell silent, and millions in the live stream room, after the audience snapped back to reality. The whole thing exploded. How could the crafty Shen Fei have the nerve to say that all? Such words are truly outrageous to both humans and gods. Laugh. I laughed too. Anyone in the world could be short of money. You're a dishonest businessman claiming you're short on money. It's funny. Wait a minute. Is that Fei Ji's own voice? Why does it sound so young? Yes. Bro, your words really woke me up from a dream. That voice must be around 20 years old. Don't joke around, you guys. Around 20 years old. Feige has been around since birth. Have you started researching? Feige is 80 and I can accept it. If he were 20, how would I live like that? Compared to him, I'm not a pure loser. It feels as if I can already see today. It topped the trending search. The perverted research genius is actually only 20 years old. Feige was 20 years old with Rebus at 20, became partners. And at 20, I spent all day still, knowing the Makabaka is singing and ringing. You all should stop talking. My mom was watching the live stream too. She now glanced at the live stream, then at me. There seemed to be murderous intent in his eyes. A voice message was accidentally revealed. After I got older, everyone was starting to lose their composure. As for Lai Bu's side, he was almost laughing at his lips. It reached the back of the head. I only sell products and not patents. And of course he knew about it. Originally, Rebus was planning to rely on me first. He secured absolute control of the group. Then he personally led the team. The research team studied me at night. A custom car built for him. But who would have thought I'd just give it to him directly? He received such a generous gift. With my help, Rebus believes in the first generation. Dami Sugang will soon be able to achieve mass production. At that moment, he felt I had chosen the name Guang's. It's almost too fitting. This car is breaking into the new energy sector, a beacon in the automotive world. And I am even more like Lai Bu, a ray of light in life. It completely illuminated both him and the Dami group. Thinking of this, Lai Bu was about to hurry to contact me. But at this moment, a slightly heavy foot suddenly it rang out. Lai Buzi turned to look. Lin Yansheng walked up behind him. Mr. Lei, congratulations. A trace of bitterness appeared on Lin Jingshang's face. There was still lingering disbelief. He really never thought about it. Lai Bu really is solely on me. He then defeated the entire RD department of Dami group group, and it was a completely crushing blow. You don't have to be so discouraged. The one who beats you is not me. It was that genius boy. Everyone says I'm big. Half a lifetime is too legendary. But compared to this genius youth, I feel like he is the real legend. Lai Buzi looked at Lin Jiangsheng. He said sincerely from the heart. And when Lin Jiangsheng heard Lai Buzi's words, his expression froze for a moment. Then he gave a wry smile and shook his head. Mr. Lei, you misunderstood. I am not discouraged. I lost unjustly, and Fei is truly impressive. So intense that it made my heart tremble. But your choices are impressive too. Now I finally understand. You are not only the founder of Dami, you are also the best leader for Dami. Mr. Lei, goodbye to fate. Speaking of the end, Lin Jiangsheng faced Lai Buzi. He leaned in slightly. He was about to turn and leave. Lai Buzi looked at Lin. Jiangsheng hesitated for a moment. He couldn't help but ask, what are the plans next? Rebus was not magnanimous. He wanted to persuade Lin Jiangsheng to stay. Just like if he fails, Lin Jiangsheng also wouldn't try to keep him. But in business the two were enemies. It is a competitor. But in some respects, Lai Buzi still admired Lin Jiangsheng a bit. At least in new energy, automotive technology. Lin Jiangsheng was much stronger than him. Seven only lost to Shenyang aircraft, but he did not lose to them. Other new energy vehicles. Next, I want to return to the Research Institute. Mr. Lai, you know that our Lin family has some influence in Yanjing. I have been researching this for some time. The institute devoted himself to scientific research. Later, I found the research really boring, so I lost interest in continuing any further. And today, Shen Fei showed me what it was. This is called true scientific research. I think I'll spend the rest of my life there, dedicated to scientific research, even if he could make a little a name for himself, and I have no regrets in this life. Lin Jiangsheng said seriously. It seemed she had already made up her mind. Lai Buzi heard this and testified. He looked at Lin Jiangsheng. For the first time, a trace of admiration flashed in his eyes. Good luck. Ha ha. Thank you, President Lai. Hope for us when there is time in the future. They can even sit together and drink tea. After saying the last sentence, Lin Jiangsheng no longer looked at the person in front of him. There was no lingering attachment to everything. He turned around and waved his hand at Lai Buzi. He then left the scene in a drunken manner. Lai Buzi looked at Lin Jiangsheng. The figure gradually faded into the distance. He pressed his lips together. In the end, he couldn't help but murmur to himself, every researcher deserves it. People respect and admire him. But most people, he will remain unnoticed for life. Few people can compare to Shen Fei. Such fruitful results have come one after another. But if you can continue for a long time ahead, you can keep a calm mindset during your research career. After all, a twisted demon like Shen Fei, there is only one in this world. With Lin Jiangsheng's departure, Rebus sighed. This is the launch event of Dami Group. The curtain was also successfully concluded, and the name Shen Fei, once again it dominated the area. Trending list on major platforms, major news sections and front page headlines. All of it is focused on this new energy vehicle. The car was taken over. Everyone has seen new energy vehicles. New energy vehicles capable of autonomous assisted driving. Everyone has seen cars before. Fully automated intelligent street racing. New energy vehicles. No one had ever dreamed of it. So many people have never seen it live. People watching the live broadcast of the press conference were watching it after the video of the Beishan Plaza race car. Everyone was instantly amazed. No one expected this. This is true in modern technology. Developing situations. Surprisingly, the first to lose their jobs were not farmers, but the racers. One that looks like forever. An industry that won't cause unemployment. As the online buzz grew louder, I finally stepped into some of them within people's line of sight. The first military district of Magic City, ranked among the top 10 nationwide. An important military base. Most impressive part here is not its military combat strength, but because it is located nationwide, leading military RD capabilities. Over here, it has the largest in the country military RD base. Countless top domestic RD talents, all gathered here. At this moment, this area of land, somewhere in a vast military district. One had gray hair. The elderly man commanding without anger watched. Video on the phone. Unable to resist, she adjusted the reading glasses on her nose. Young people are terrifying. I never expected that our Dragon Kingdom actually has one. Such an outstanding young talent. It's just his research direction. It all seems to be about people's livelihoods. This would be a bit of a waste of his talent. The elderly man named Chen Zhenming couldn't help but feel regretful. Then he raised his hand and pressed it down. a button on the table. A few minutes later, one stood tall and straight. The young man knocked and entered. Teacher, you come to me. Well, Alt, go find a way to get in touch with this. A young man named Shen Fei. I want to invite him to work at our RD base. Chen Senmin looked at himself. His favored disciple, Ma Hongyi, said. As the top leader within the RD base, Chen Senmin had many students, and Ma Hongyi was among all his students. His talent and comprehension were both enough to rank in the top 5. Therefore, Chen Senmin treated him with honor. His attitude was very kind. But upon hearing Chen Senmin's words, Ma Hongyi, however, couldn't help but hesitate. Teacher, I've heard of Shen Fei. Recently, his story has been posted online. The commotion was nothing short of a huge uproar. But if he were to come directly to our RD base, isn't that a bit out of line? We're recruiting all the major universities here. Top scientific research talents from military academies and research institutes. More than half of them are released already. He has been involved in military industry research for 5 years. And this is what Shen Fei researched. All items are civilian items. Let him come to our RD base. He probably doesn't understand anything. Ah Honji said boldly. Ordinary people receive Chen Zhenmin's orders. Only comply. He didn't dare to question him at all. Otherwise, Chen Zhenmin would definitely be provoked. A barrage of angry curses erupted. After all, at this moment, it seemed it is somewhat harmonious. But inside the RD base, Chen Zhenmin is notoriously hot-tempered. There are quite a few new researchers joining the field. He had scolded them to tears before, but Ma Hongji dared to say that. Naturally, it was because Chen Zhenmin treated him well. His attitude is different from others. Hearing this, Chen Zhenmin said, he just smiled and said, I just wanted Shen Fei to give it a try. Nor did they say he would be recruited directly. A formal member of the research base. Livelihood and military industry are worlds apart. Can he also do it in the military industry? He possesses exceptional insight. That still depends on time to decide. Come on, you go get in touch first. And Zhenmin waved his hand and said, Ma Hongji finally heard this. He obediently nodded. Then he turned and walked toward the door. But just as his hand touched it, when it reaches the doorknob, Chen Zhenmin's voice suddenly rang out again. That's right. Has Qin Ying already finished the experiment? Hearing the name Qin Ying, Ma Hongji's eyes were deep in his eyes. A trace of admiration flashed across his face. He immediately nodded in agreement. Yes, teacher. Coach Qin has finished the cheese type. Research on super-hardness alloy materials. Although this experiment was intermittent for Mentor Qin, it took a total of 2 years. But this time, her experimental breakthrough will bring our land tanks a historic innovation. Possessing this ultra-hardness alloy, our ground tank combat power, it will rise by more than 2 levels. Mentor Qin is the true genius. Ma Hongji spoke without a trace. Each pronunciation implies reverence. Her appearance was just like Qin Ying's. Shen Fei was nothing special. Chen Zhenmin nodded in response. Even his stern face couldn't help but appear. A faint smile appeared. Qin Ying really has a high level of perceptiveness. Back then, she only studied under me. It took 2.5 years. He was promoted to ours' mentor at the research base. Colt, you all have to work hard too. Yeah, we will definitely live up to your teacher's expectations. Good. You should contact Shen Fei first. Once the contact is complete, notify everyone. Meeting in Hall 1. He told Qin Ying to go over as well. Good teacher. I'll make arrangements. As soon as he heard that he could immediately meet Qin Ying, Ma Hongji was completely at ease. He became somewhat excited. He immediately quickened his pace and left Chen Zhenmin's office. And after Ma Hongji left, Chen Zhenmin then turned his attention to, on the phone in front of her. Look at what I have created on screen. The fully automated intelligent driving vehicle. Racing new energy vehicles. He couldn't help but murmur to himself. The only thing is that this is specified in a specific program, or an intelligent road recognition system. If the latter, then maybe it can be applied in military operations. That would greatly improve the situation, the efficiency of special operations. But with current technology, we want to achieve mass production of this system. It is difficult to estimate. Shen Fei must have studied it for a long time as well. That's how he came up with this setup. On the other side, I still didn't know I had walked in. He caught the sight of Chen Zhenmin, the true military industry tycoon, highlighting some aspects of this new energy vehicle. After the core technical data was sent to Lai Yun, so I walked out of the manufacturing shop. He planned to rest well for a few days in the memories of my previous life that I have fused. Besides having such a manufacturing store, it seems there's another apartment in the city center, so I decided to go to the city center. Stay in the house for 2 days, although the manufacturing shop also has rooms where you can rest. But in my opinion, work and life still need to be separated, and I'm here usually not even a soul could be seen. It kept going on like this. I estimated underestimate my social skills. I guess they're already deteriorating. Step out of the manufacturing store's door, facing the warm afternoon sunshine. I couldn't help but stretch lazily and comforting. At the manufacturing shop, my current plan is wait 2 days before taking orders, or take orders after finding suitable ones. The third phase of the system has been activated. After top-tier military manufacturing. Of course I want to be even bigger. Challenge yourself. Oh, let's decide for now. Now let's set off for the city center. I let out a soft breath. Then I started driving my own second-hand car, making the slow start of the Jetta, heading toward the city center. At the same time, the other side, the first military district of Magic City belongs to. Within the grounds of the research base, Chen Zhenmin was limping along. He walked toward the conference hall. Before he could get close, Chen Zhenmin then heard waves of wailing and wolf heroism. A voice came from inside. Sister Ying. Stop it. I admit defeat, that's not enough. Mentor Chin, you're the mentor now. Don't bully people like this. Sing. If you keep hitting it, it'll break. Listening to this sound, Chen Zhenmin's expression froze slightly. Then he couldn't help himself. He shook his head and gave a bitter smile. This girl. After saying this, Chen Zhenmin quickened his pace, and he reached the conference room door. Just then a beautiful figure was seen lifting. His foot sent someone flying, those long legs tucked under loose pants, sexy yet full of explosive energy. Chen Zhenmin looked more closely. On the ground, except for the person Qin Ying had thrown away. 4 or 5 others also collapsed to the ground. I can't even get up. It was clear that Qin Ying had severely tormented her. But Qin Ying didn't notice at this moment. Behind him, Chen Zhenmin arrived. She glanced at the few people lying on the ground. He couldn't help but clap. He crossed his arms and said, Feeder, your bodies are really weak. Besides, saying you should do research, you should also exercise your body well. How did 2 years pass? Still, so weak. Qin Ying's clear voice rang out loudly, echoing throughout the conference room. Not just lying on the ground. A few of them felt like crying but had no tears. It was the eyes of the crowd gathered around to watch the spectacle. Kakuzu couldn't help but twitch violently twice. Sister Ying, why didn't you exercise? We run 20 kilometers in the mountains every day. Not a single day was missed in those 2 years. But I'm fighting you. Can we beat it? Even the people from the special operations team. Everyone avoids you when they see you. What can we do? Never mind. Sister Ying, if you want to kill our farm, do as you please. We choose to stand and die. A few people chimed in one after another. Her face was full of grievance. Qin Ying looked at the group like this. He was momentarily stunned. She immediately rubbed her hands together. He closed in on the group. Oh, he has a backbone. Just those few sentences still sound like a man. I'll make your wish come true. Speaking, Qin Ying's long legs over 1 meter long. He already lifted it up. But at this moment, Chen Zhenmin finally couldn't stand it anymore. Ahem. Come on, Qin Ying. Stop bothering you junior brothers. And Zhenmin said as he spoke. With his hands behind his back, he walked into the house. Meanwhile, everyone inside the room was present. After seeing Chen Zhenmin, it was as if he had seen his own father. They all wiped their tears and leaned in. Chen Lao, you have to call the shots for us. Qin Ying wouldn't be so bullying. We are a group of the nation's top experts. Military industry researcher. She insists on making us exercise some kind of body. Isn't this just torture? Yesterday I heard she was coming back. I had nightmares. Originally the study of the 3-item pipe. I already had a clue. He was instantly scared out of his wits. How? Old Chen was in charge. Make the decision. Those people rushed to Chen Zhenmin's side. Snot and tears. There was absolutely no top-tier touch. The appearance of military industry talents. Come on. Qin Ying is doing this for your own good. He didn't have a good physique, nor can they continue research for long. Everyone, please return to your seats. I have something important to discuss with you today. Speaking of the end, Chen Zhenmin's voice grew a bit more solemn as he spoke. The dozens of people present heard this. It was as if he had changed faces instantly. They all faded their smiles. They gradually walked back. He took his seat. Only Qin Ying still looked like she was still on the same page. He looked like he was nothing wrong. He casually pulled up a chair and sat down. Chen Zhenmin glanced at Qin Ying. Didn't say anything more. He lifted his steps and walked into the conference room. The edge of the display. A video was uploaded to the system. He then spoke to everyone. Let's take a look at this video first. As Chen Zhenmin's voice faded, all the dozens of people in the conference room all turned their gaze over. Seeing a car on the screen without anyone operating it. Fully intelligent autonomous driving on its own. Creating various high difficulty vehicle technologies. Finally, a group of supercars. After throwing it behind her butt, even with these top military industry talents present, his face couldn't help but show it. A trace of surprise flickered across his face. Meanwhile, Qin Ying, standing nearby, finished watching. She couldn't help but narrow her pretty eyes. After the video finished playing, she even fell into deep thought. At this moment, Chen Zhenmin slowly walked to the main seat. He looked up and glanced at the crowd below. Then with a commanding presence he spoke. What happened in this video? just a few hours ago. It is a top-tier technology company in our country. Recorded footage from the company press conference. I think some of you have already done so. You've heard the name Shen Fei, but there are probably people who haven't heard of it. Now let's talk about it. What are your thoughts on the footage in the video? After Chen Zhenmin's voice fell, inside the room were dozens of top military industry workers. The talented man exchanged a beautiful glance. They immediately started discussing among themselves, and Qin Ying sat at the very front. At this moment he narrowed his eyes. I don't know what I'm thinking. In the conference room, after everyone discussed for a while, people began to stand up. He said to Chen Zhenmin, "Chen Lao, I think the fully intelligent automatic feature in the video is, the driving features are indeed quite impressive, but there are not many things. Specifically, the visuals have a strong impact, but in practice it is not very useful. From a civilian perspective, this technology is indeed effective. Driving experience is maximized, but cars are such things. The law will not allow it. If Dami Group wants to launch this car, the speeding feature, it definitely won't pass the review, but technically, personally, I quite admire Shen Fei. He is very particular about intelligent things. Seems to have a unique natural gift. Hong Yi just mentioned it to me. He said you seem interested in recruiting Shen Jin. Our military industry base is learning. I think he studied for a while after acquiring military technical knowledge. Maybe it really can be used for our military industry. More bricks and tiles boost. One wearing silver-rimmed glasses. The young man, Nini, spoke as he spoke. Hearing his words, there were quite a few people in the conference room. He nodded in agreement. Chen Zhenmin looked up at the young man. He suddenly asked, "Su Ting, but what if it were for military use? Military expenses?" The young man named Su Ting was slightly taken aback upon hearing this. He then met Chen Zhenmin's gaze. He couldn't help but shake his head and laugh. "Chen Lao, please don't test me. I can still think of that. This technology currently seems to me as well. For now, it's impossible to use it to the military industry during military operations. If there is an autonomous driving function, indeed it can liberate combat forces, but no matter how intelligent something is in the end, it was a pile of cold parts. They simply cannot handle the ever-changing battlefield. Make the most accurate judgment. For example, intelligent driving system, only on the current path. Analyze the situation, just like we were in the video earlier, just like what you see above. Take a turn at top speed. The choices are always the most correct. Shortcut road. This determination method is also part of the intelligent driving system, the most basic and important method of judgment. On the battlefield, nearby doesn't necessarily mean good, nor is it necessarily safe. If this kind of intelligent driving the system is applied in the military industry, it is very likely to lead to irreparable mistakes. Ting's voice kept repeating one sentence after another. The sound echoed throughout the conference room. This time the voices of agreement grew louder. Many female researchers are even attracted to outstanding talents. Zhu Ting cast her admiration into her own light, but just then, a voice utterly discordant. Suddenly it rang out. "Oh, Ting, is it really that hard to admit that Shen Fei is outstanding? You guys, who held himself in great esteem, not something others have developed, but if it were you guys, you can create something like this. Intelligent driving systems." The voice was full of mockery like a slap. It slammed hard into Su Ting, waiting for everyone's faces, but when they looked at the sound, after the direction came from, in an instant the banana fell down. "Sister Ying, I have no intention of looking down on Shen Fei. I'm just talking about things. Operating with intelligent systems. I haven't dabbled in it. I don't know if I can figure it out either." "Zui Su Ting said boldly. Ying immediately responded upon hearing this. He couldn't help but roll his eyes. Then she looked at Chen Zhenmin and said, "Chen Lao, you see, how hypocritical are these people? Military research is in certain aspects much better than migrant workers, but to manage someone like Lei Yong, something so shocked that it looked like that when it came to their mouths, it became a matter of fact. Even the most basic respect for technology is lost. If you ask me, old Chen, you only have this much extra. Everyone gathered together. Each person has a small dark room. If you lock yourself up and focus on research, you won't get it. So much vanity now. Qin Ying, you said with a stern tone determined to the end. Zhu Ting, Ma Hongji, and the others. Listening to it made my eyes twitch. If it weren't for the fact that Qin Ying was so comparable. Special forces, combat power. They argued back loudly, but now they can only watch their eyes and noses, their hearts and noses. Pretend not to hear. Or she looked at Chen Zhenmin eagerly. Hopefully Chen Zhenmin will stand up for them. But soon, their last hope was extinguished. Although Qin Ying Ying's words were a bit blunt, but it's not without reason. Take Shen Yang's intelligent driving system, for example. It truly belongs to a product ahead of its time. He was a very good young man. I'm really looking forward to him coming here. Colt, how did your contact go? Speaking of the end, Chen Zhenmin suddenly changed the subject. Suddenly, he looked toward the seated seat, not far away. Ma Hongyi was momentarily stunned by these words. He then took out his phone and glanced at it. He seemed somewhat speechless as he spoke. Teacher, I'm using the official Tiger Shark live streaming platform. Over there, you have to go to the Shen Fei registration platform. Learn contact information. Use the official number of the admissions office. I called him twice, but all the calls showed refusal to answer. Later, I sent him another text message. He still hasn't replied to me. Chen Zhenmin waved his hand at this. He said he would put the matter aside for now. Meanwhile, Shen Ying, standing nearby, couldn't help but smile. She shot Ma Hongyi a glare. His words carried a hint of fanning the flames. Yinker recognized everything. Come on, Shen Fei should wait for his reply for now. I believe as long as he is interested in scientific research, you won't miss this opportunity. Next, let's get started. Formal meeting agenda. At this moment, Chen Zhenmin spoke slowly. Everyone in the conference room heard this. He immediately sat up straight. So none of that just now was at all. The true purpose of this meeting, under the staring gazes of everyone. Chen Zhenmin picked up the chalk. On the blackboard in the meeting room, a large line of characters was written on IT, on the essentials of contemporary strategic aircraft. A few points to break through. Chen Zhenmin led Qin Ying and the others, the country's top military industry talent, as they began discussing the topic of strategic aircraft. Inside the headquarters of the Shenzhen City Instant Delivery Building, the Instant Delivery CEO of China's top courier company. I'm also worried about the plane. We continue developing it. The first 6 experiments all failed. Keep working on it. No idea how much more money you'll have to put in. Bai was standing beside him as an assistant. The middle-aged man said with a bitter expression, since early last year, instant delivery is designed to make express delivery even faster. So they launched a drone delivery plan. For this reason, Shenzhen specially recruited a large group, professional research talents in this area. Over time, more than 1 billion yuan was invested. But who would have thought they were bragging so much? This time the external publicity must be strengthened. One has strong endurance, strong delivery capacity, highly stable drones. This greatly improves the efficiency of express delivery. The whole country can be flown away. The courier arrived the same day. The ad sounds louder no matter how you listen to it. But the results were far from ideal. All 6 studies failed. Or the battery life is insufficient. Or its cargo capacity is average. Or they meet both of the first 2 criteria. But the stability is quite disappointing. In short, over the past year or so, no one knows how much money was spent on instant delivery. How many test aircraft have exploded? The current situation is instant delivery and follow-up. Wang Wai was somewhat held back. The moment you show your head, you'll be instantly killed. The kind where if you don't show your face, you'll be poisoned to death by the drug ring. Larynx, Lao, Liang. I know exactly what you're worried about. But if you don't keep doing it, all that money ahead was just self-destruction. Besides, Wang Wai's always a man of his word. The cows were blown out. There was no sound. How will people view instant delivery in the future? How do you see me, Wang Wai? After some thought, Wang Wai gritted his teeth and said he looked like he didn't care how much money he spent, and also take responsibility for the blowing cattle. Meanwhile, the middle-aged assistant beside him, hearing Wang Wai's words, her legs immediately couldn't help but twitch. Mr. Wang, think twice. We've been making money with Shunsong over the years, but he couldn't hold back. Lao Liang, wait a minute. Don't talk yet. The middle-aged assistant hadn't finished speaking. Wang Wai immediately interrupted him with a gesture. The middle-aged assistant was slightly taken aback by the situation. He looked at Wang Wai with some confusion. At that moment, Wang Wai was looking up. He stared straight ahead. His confused eyes suddenly changed. It grew even brighter. The middle-aged assistant followed Wang Wai's lead. He looked over. Immediately after, he couldn't help but swallow. Wriggling swallowed hard. The screen ahead was clearly visible, frozen on a single canvas. The protagonist on the screen is exactly that. Lai Buyu and a car. Wang Song. You won't want to. Not bad. Lao Liang. Since Shen Fei can even create one, our revolutionary new energy vehicle, then build a drone that meets our requirements, I don't think coming out will be difficult. Larynx, my brain, how did he finally react? Back when we learned about Beishan Plaza, the Dami Group, after the car launch event, I should have thought of it. Wang Wai sighed as he spoke. He couldn't help but scold fiercely. He slapped his own thigh. He then turned on the computer on the table. They placed an order directly for me. Meanwhile, the middle-aged assistant nearby saw this. After hesitating for a moment, he couldn't help but speak up. And Mr. Wang, Shen Fei's reputation is not very good. Wang Wai was slightly taken aback upon hearing this. He continued. placing orders while still doing so. He couldn't help but laugh. Oh no, Liang, you the reputation of being the head of Shen Fei's shady merchants, right? If he really could use drones, make it for me. If I don't refuel the drone, I'm fine with it. Just 1 box of oil, not much money. As he spoke, Wang Wei said, the orders have already been placed. Then he leaned back against the back of the boss's chair. He let out a heavy sigh of relief. He looked as if he had resolved his worries. The middle-aged assistant remained unchanged upon hearing this. He couldn't help but frown deeply. Lord President, I'm not worried about this. What I mean is Shen Fei is too young, according to Baishan Square. The recorded message from that segment. Everyone speculated about Shen Fei. He was only about 20 years old. To be so young and able to create something like this. A new energy vehicle. It's amazing enough. Makes everyone give a thumbs up. But Yang Lang still has his talent run out. Shen Fei was a young man about 10 years old. How could they possibly be considering new energy at the same time? At the same time as automotive technology. They even know drone manufacturing technology. And the drone we want to build. The parameters have never been set. It has appeared on the market. It is no exaggeration to say it is unique worldwide. And Shen Fei handle it. The middle-aged assistant expressed his worries one by one. The location was revealed. Wang Wei was silent for a few seconds. He immediately shifted his gaze to the next level. He said to the blue sky and white clouds outside the window, Lao Liang, I know it's hard. Otherwise, we wouldn't either. Failed so many times. But you have a better way now. Wang Wei finished speaking. This time it was the middle-aged assistant's turn, falling into silence. After a while, the middle-aged assistant finally calmed down and said, Mr. Wang, perhaps your choice is the right one, but will Shenyang Aircraft take our orders? Now I guess people online want to place orders with him. The number of people must be sky high. Hearing the middle-aged assistant's words, Wang Wei confidently waved his hand. I've seen it just now. Currently, Shenyang Aircraft is ordering manufacturing store orders. The highest amount was only 20 million. I actually opened it for Shen Fei. A high price of 12 billion. Didn't you say Shenyang Aircraft was greedy for money? Then he will definitely take my order. How? Wang Wei said confidently. The middle-aged assistant instinctively heard this. He nodded and said, That's right. That's good. Wait a minute. Wang Song. How much? 12 billion. Mr. Wang, you're sure you didn't mark an extra zero? Earn 12 million into it. 120 million. After coming to his senses, the middle-aged assistant immediately became a bit unsettled. You have to know that they are so capable. Just small drones. Not a large passenger plane. R&D costs are very high. But the manufacturing cost is only tens of millions at most. 120 million. That could be enough to build a mid-sized passenger car. Moreover, the middle-aged assistant had also heard of Shen Fei, the principle of selling only products and not patents. What was the middle-aged assistant thinking about this deal? Why does it feel like I'm losing out to my grandma's family? Come on, Lao Liang. You don't have to think about it. Money earned is meant to be spent. As long as Shenyang Aircraft can operate drones, give us the making. That's worth it. Although such a drone might not exist. Enough for us to build a drone transport system. But as long as Shenyang Aircraft succeeds, just buy a few more from him, that's enough. As long as money can solve the problem. That's not a problem, Wang Wei said with a look of wealth and arrogance. The middle-aged assistant could only watch over the corner of his eye. He nodded sniffly. He really felt it was necessary to find out, where did I live? Ideally just send a few. Someone go keep an eye on me. Otherwise he's really afraid I'll run off with the money. After all, everyone online is spreading the rumors. I'm the head of a shady business who knows who it is. He stopped and ran off after that order. The middle-aged assistant thought it was 12 billion. It already has enough temptation. Tiger Shark Live streaming platform. Since the Dammy Auto launch event ended, the one that belongs to my manufacturing shop, advertising promotion live stream room, it never went from number 1 on the homepage again. The position has been moved up and down. Countless netizens came here because of its reputation. Everyone wants to see the orders in my live stream. How terrifying has it become? And Wang Wei's orders were like this. A dark horse burst forth like a dark horse. The order amount is firmly secured. After the first place. Millions of people are currently in my live stream. Damn it. Am I seriously seeing that right? 12 billion? Instant Delivery Group placed an order worth 12 billion yuan for Fei Jian. My brother Wang is really ruthless. That's 12 billion soft girl coins. It's not 12 billion happy beans. Sing! Stop it. 12 billion happy beans for me. I've never seen it in my life. Suddenly he felt that President Lei was being too stingy. Look at President Wang. He immediately made a 9-figure sum. Larynx. I never imagined it back then. A computer costing 100 yuan is actually a computer. The closest I ever got to Feiji was to make it. Ha 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 ha. It said that Brother Fei gave Ersi the computer. No longer dared to use it for gaming. It was already being promoted in the live stream. Admiring the child's grace. I'm Odai Xiaomai. I'm so full of regret. Speaking of Mr. Wang, he found 2 billion yuan. What is Feiji making? Why is this order still confidential? Probably to build Ultraman. Far out. I think it's Armor Warrior. The viewers in the live stream were buzzing with discussion. In the end, everyone was curious. I want to know exactly what Wang Wai gave me. He placed an order to make something, but not long after. Resourceful netizens dig into it. Some clues emerged. I know. Drone. Mr. Wang gave Feiger the right to do it. It is the drone order. No drones. Is this the drone I know? What kind of drone is worth 2 billion? Nops, you are ignorant. Shunzent has been promoting it for a long time. They plan to build drones to transport express deliveries. It is said to carry 1 ton of cargo, the kind that can fly nationwide. There had been no movement at all. Probably didn't make it. Oh, I guess President Wang is probably at a loss. So I came to Feiji to place an order. President Wang is so confused. It's just that this drone is so cool. It's probably worth over 100 million. Come on! After all, we're not the ones paying for it. If Feiji really caused it, from now on I will always use instant delivery for all deliveries. Right. Me too. No need for the computers and motorcycles Feiji built. You could say you could use the flying tech. The drone I built was built after guessing it might be a drone order. Millions of viewers in the live stream. The whole situation exploded. Even more frightening is when this incident spread. In less than half an hour, instant stock actually rose quite a bit. The top floor of the instant delivery group headquarters building, in the chairman's office, the middle-aged assistant surnamed Liang was completely stunned. A full dozen seconds passed. He finally recovered. Then he couldn't help but shake his head and smile wryly. He looked at Wang Wai, who was sitting in the boss's chair. Mr. Wang, it seems I underestimated it. This is the influence. After the astonishing success of Dame Group's car launch event, this person's fame was truly unmatched. Keep growing like this. It is estimated that it will not take long. You spent 12 of them. Hundreds of millions have already broken even. The assistant surnamed Liang couldn't help but click his tongue repeatedly. Meanwhile, Wang Wai, standing nearby, overheard this, staring at the computer in front of him, but not at all. A trace of worry appeared on his face. Lao Liang. But why hasn't Shen Fei accepted any orders yet? Could it be that my price isn't high enough? Actually, Wang Wai was also excited about the rise in instant delivery's stock price. He knew all of this. I brought them all here. If I don't accept this order, that's not the end. The stocks that have risen back then, even the sheer cliff had to be lowered back, and it will drop even more. After all, I don't take orders. There will definitely be rumors online. There, teleported drones, transportation and express delivery solutions. It also signals that it will be completely abandoned. Mr. Wang, it probably isn't about the price. Your price is already very high. Maybe it's just Mr. Shen Fei who has it on hand now. The Emperor might have matters to handle. Faced with Wang Wai's words, the middle-aged assistant could only try to guess and comfort her, and at the very moment he finished speaking, Wang Wai suddenly recoiled. The seat bounced up. Such actions made the middle-aged assistant. He was completely startled, seeing the usually composed Wang Wai so excited. Middle-aged assistant immediately said excitedly, Mr. Wang, did Mr. Shen Fei take the order? Hearing the middle-aged assistant's question, Wang Wai, on the other hand, wore a look of amusement and helplessness. He pointed to the computer screen in front of him. He then said, somewhat frustrated, I asked why doesn't Shen Fei take orders? Just now in a panic I placed the order. I reopened the content and read it again. Wrong. I gave Shenyang aircraft drones. All the parameter data is wrong. Range and cargo capacity. White. I added 10 to all of them. I guess it was when I placed the order before. You're talking to me, I'm distracted. No wonder Shenyang aircraft doesn't take orders. It has a driving range of 10 kilometers. Cargo capacity is 10 tons. How could such a drone possibly be built? Let me see how to do this. The order was cancelled. Then give Shen Fei another one. New orders, Wang Wai said with a bitter smile. He moved the mouse as he wanted. Look for places to cancel orders. What? Right now. Suddenly the back end of Tiger Shark's live stream popped up. A notification message appeared. Tips. You're stored under the Tiger Shark live streaming platform. The order has already been accepted by the shop owner. The order status will change to received. Look at this message. Wang Wai's expression changed instantly. He couldn't help but freeze in shock. Then he rubbed his eyes hard twice. After making sure he wasn't mistaken, a voice that startled the child to the extreme, it burst out from his throat. Lao? Liang, look, I'm not mistaken. Such outrageous drone order parameters. Shen Fei actually took the next step. He went next. On the balcony of a residential building in the center of Magic City, I was lying on a lounge chair, comfortably basking in the afternoon sun. He glanced once again at the order he had just received. I couldn't help but mutter to myself, seems Mr. Wang really knows his stuff. That's more like it. Orders are difficult. They also gave enough money. Only then can it be built with real power. He stood up from the lounge chair. I stretched lazily in comfort, so I decided to set off immediately to return to the manufacturing shop to handle the order Y placed. After earning 10 million points, system has already activated the third level, top-tier military manufacturing stage. Without top-tier military industry, before crafting skills, Wang Wai completed this drone order with me. It seems almost impossible, but now I think it's worth a challenge. And it's not just about this order. The difficulty caught my interest. I'm also very satisfied with the price of the order, as the system activated the third phase. Points for promotion to stage 4. The system has already been made public. Billion. A full billion. I had already made a bold guess in my previous studies, but he couldn't predict the next phase of the system. It actually required so many points to activate. But the concept of the fourth stage, military manufacturing with 7 words, actually helped me feel much more balanced mentally. Although I don't know about conceptual military industry. What exactly is manufacturing specifically? But just hearing that name alone is enough to make a difference. An aura of grandeur and elegance rushed toward him. It should be worth 1 billion points, say. There's no problem. And if this... He put aside the matter of Wang Wai's order for the time being. I took out my phone again and looked at it. 2 missed calls and 1 message. These are, of course, within the military district research base. Ma Honji called me and messaged me. I didn't answer the phone at all. I actually read the text. But he had no intention of turning back, because I had no idea how to respond. Never mind. Don't worry about it for now. Anyway, I don't care which military district I'm entering in. The research base wasn't very interested either. I muttered to myself. So he sent all the text messages and phone calls. They were all dragged into the trash bin. It's not that I don't want to serve the country, but I simply couldn't get in. First, the system upgrade is required. The points are increasing. Naturally, I need to earn more money. Entering the research base allows you to participate. It's not so easy to make money anymore. You might not even make any money. In that case, how could you upgrade the system? And there's another one. A very important reason. Life within the military district research base is affirmed. Not as carefree as I am now. Sometimes it might even make me do it. Some are less interested in research, or something with a low difficulty level. All of this completely blocked me. Possibility of entering research bases. Before I set out, I rushed back to the suburban manufacturing shop, while processing drone orders for the instant delivery group. On the other side, the instant delivery headquarters building. Inside the chairman's office, Wang Wai and assistant Liang Shu. They stared at each other for a long time. Only then did he gradually recover from his state of shock, and broke away. But deep in their eyes, yet they still hang thick and strong, a lingering sense of shock. Mr. Wang, how about you slap me? Why does it feel so unrealistic? We built a range of 10 kilometers, a drone with a payload capacity of 1 ton. It was quite a struggle. Xinyang Aircraft actually extended its range next. Mileage of 10 kilometers. Drone orders with a payload capacity of 10 tons. Am I really dreaming? Liang Suzong couldn't help but swallow his throat. Swallowing hard, he said. The reason he was able to become Wang Wai's assistant to the chairman, but after the group directors, carefully selected by us. The fundamental reason is because Wang Wai spent money too extravagantly. The board members were afraid Wang Wai would be wasteful. That's why he arranged for Liang Suzong to be like this, an extremely stingy middle-aged assistant. But this time, facing Wang Wai's big hands. 2 billion yuan spent out. But Liang Suzong thought it was worth it. It's worth it. If I really could build such a drone on, then they... Not only does Shunsong firmly hold the top position nationwide, this chair, it means looking globally, and none of them can compete with instant delivery. Sent a package in the morning, delivered in the afternoon. Who could possibly do that? Lao Liang. Should we place an order? Too cautious. Shen Fei was practically inhuman, perverted. He's a research freak. Wang looked at Liang Suzong. Exaggerated expressions. He himself wasn't doing much better, since I have personally established my career after single-handedly building such a courier empire. Very few people could catch Wang Wai's eye anymore. But ever since I found out, after the name Shen Fei, I kept refreshing again and again. His cognitive limit. Wang Wai felt this for the first time. Besides making money, is there really such a thing in the world? Charming people and events. Mr. Wang, do you feel like reading books? I felt the urge to pursue graduate and doctoral studies. If you're dissatisfied, say so. I have too. Elders always say that knowledge is power. They say all trades are inferior, but reading is noble. I used to think these words out of place with the times, but Shen Fei made me understand. The true power an immense appeal of knowledge, Liang Suzhong sincerely remarked. His face was full of energy, a strange expression. Come on, Dao Liang, let's not get sentimental here. There are thousands of researchers in the world, but there are people like Shen Fei, people with ability and boldness, and that's all there is to it. However long go will lack such a person, a researcher who shines with brilliance. He will be like a beam of light, illuminating countless young fans of the enchanting style. The road ahead. And I know there's one more thing you haven't said. It's just like comparing yourself to someone like Shen Fei. Me and Lai Jun, a billionaire like me. It all makes people look down on him a bit, doesn't it? Speaking of the end, Wang Wei suddenly joked. Wang Wei's current mood. It's not too easy, and it was even more about what I would give to you soon. His drone is full of anticipation. When Liang Suzhong heard Wang Wei's words, naturally he didn't dare to answer a single word. He stammered for 2 seconds. Then, as if suddenly finding something, he asked as if on a topic. By the way, Mr. Wang, the order you placed for Shenyang aircraft, is there a time limit? Should we issue an announcement in advance? Anyway, netizens online have already guessed it. Let's play Shen Fei. It was the drone order. I don't think it's a big deal. So you can hide it and keep it at school. And Lai Yun has already set an example for us. Announcements are made 3 days in advance. Baishan Square Dami Auto became famous overnight. We have to mention marketing. We really should learn from Lai Busy. Hearing Liang Suzhong's words, Wang Wei immediately began to ponder. After a moment, Wang Wei spoke directly. Hello, Liang. You really reminded me. Of course, the announcement must be issued, although I didn't give Shen Fei a deadline. But according to Shenyang Aircraft's previous practices, the speed of the order is used to estimate the situation. I estimate at most a week. Shenyang Aircraft will supply us with the goods, then set it for a week. A week later, at Shenzhen Haihu Park, hold drone launch events. Let's see if this time is really for Leijun. The Dami Auto press conference was quite lively. Still our drones. The press conference was quite lively. Speaking of the end, even Wang Weidu, who was seasoned in business, he couldn't help but feel a bit excited. Of course, Liang Suzhong was naturally even more excited. My Mr. Wang, I'll make arrangements. Nodded heavily. Liang Suzhong quickly walked over. Outside the office they began to walk out. Liang Suzhong's movements were swift. After he finished his conversation with Wang Wei, in less than 10 minutes, an announcement was posted on the official website of the Instant Delivery Group. An instant delivery across major platforms. On the official account, the content of the announcement is as follows. 7 days later at Shenzhen Haihu Park, the Instant Delivery Group will hold a meeting. Drone Express launch event. Please look forward to it. The content is very brief, but it was like a huge boulder, like throwing it into a calm lake in a very short time. Waves of children surged ahead. I knew it. The cliff is drone. Mr. Wang hired Fei to build drones. I can't be busy. They were completely overwhelmed. I took leave to watch the Dami Group car launch event. I'll have to take leave again. If this keeps up, the boss will be the one to be sucked up. He insisted on firing me. Brother, don't worry. At work, he openly watched the situation, because I feel like your boss will watch it too. I simply don't have time to care about you. I am next to the Aeon. Bro, you'll talk next time. Could you have said so earlier? Anyway, I'm following the press conference now. It's about experiencing how girls follow variety shows. What does it feel like? It's not too cool. Below the official Shun send account, the number of comments is less than a few minutes. Within that time, the number exceeded 10,000. Everyone was excited about the instant delivery in 7 days. The drone launch event was full of anticipation. Meanwhile, on the other side, inside the first military district military industry research base, Ben Senmin brought Qinying and others, but as soon as he opened, he made a sound without distinction. Chen Lao. It can't be realized. It can't be realized at all. Strategic aircraft are currently the most important, and there are only 2 functions. One is strategic bombing. The other is the release of supplies. Let's start with strategic bombing. We have to ensure our pilots are safe. Return safely with the strategic aircraft. You can only start with the strategic external protective shell. But it was Sister Ying who had just figured it out. Steeper, ultra hard, mixed metal. Nor can you guarantee you'll withstand even one. Air superiority missile does not malfunction. 1 or 2 missiles on land. Hitting a tank might be fine, but the air is not like the land. Even the slightest malfunction can be fatal. As for the release of supplies, although it was dropped at our camp, the risk is much lower. It still couldn't be guaranteed. 100 safe. So I think this issue is a false proposition. It simply cannot be achieved. The meeting room was silent. Ma Hongji was the first to stand up and speak. Chen Zhenmin waved his hand at this. He gestured for Ma Hongji to sit down. And he looked around the conference room, looking down at the 40 or 50 top players. The military worker spoke in a deep voice. voice. There's nothing you can do. There was absolutely no solution. Even if you have a little imagination, that's fine. Chen Senmin's voice echoed in the conference room. Inside it reverberated and opened. What greeted them was growing even more silent. Only Qin Ying frowned slightly, as if he wanted to say something. But in the end, she went back to her own business. He shook his head. He swallowed his words back down. Inside the suburban manufacturing store, I took the order Wang Wei gave him. I looked at the specs more carefully. Then he opened the super laboratory. After the system upgraded to the 3rd stage, the super lab also functions as well. This has been significantly improved. Versus the time ratio, it has reached 51, although the increase was not as high as the first stage to stage 2, but this time is longer than mine. It seems already exaggerated enough. I am now in the super lab. 50 days in total. The real world is no exception. Only 1 day has passed. It is precisely because of having a super laboratory, this kind of heaven-defying ability. That's why I dared to take on Wang Wei's order. Even if it fails, I don't have to worry about time either. Next is the super lab. Types of equipment and material warehouses all have been upgraded to military-industry level. From inside the super laboratory, not only can I use it for free, various top-tier military manufacturing equipment, you can also pay to buy them on the market. All military-grade materials on the board. It's just that some materials are used. The price was just a glance for me. Everyone trembled a little. There are several zeros after that. I don't even want to count superconductors. So I told Lai Bus, I've been a bit short on money lately. This is no joke. During the process of completing orders, the rules the system gave me, more money you save, the more points you earn, the more points you earn. But who knows when it will be. I want to make something out myself. At that time I definitely wanted to pick the best one. And my little money really isn't enough to build it. Maybe if you do a big project, then you would have to lose everything. Wang. Mr. Wang. Now, everyone outside calls me the boss of a swindling businessman. The shop owner gave a thumbs up. The number is almost over 30 million. Dissatisfied with you? Originally, I really didn't plan to cheat you this time. I want to build a drone for you. He shed the label of unscrupulous merchant boss, but now I feel so poor. You have to understand me. I kept chanting to myself. Then he opened the super laboratory, an ideal library function, picking through the materials warehouse. It took about half a day. I'm gathering enough to build drones. All the materials, compared to previous times. This time I chose the materials. It really was a long time, but there was really no other way. Military materials on site were too expensive. I've been searching for something to see. Other materials can be substituted. Fortunately, hard work pays off. It could have cost several times. Millions in material costs. Now I've forcibly compressed it. Within 2 million. All materials are packed together for settlement. I paid the system a total of 18 million. And if this number is, if Wang Wei knew, he was probably about to break down on the spot. Eldest brother, I paid you 12 billion. 12 billion. In the end, you only spent 18 million, although Wang Wei definitely wasn't there for now. Know how much I spent, but it is expected to be in the near future. He will know, because before entering the super laboratory, 368 I fell for you to 298.0. The system is still generating that thing. Periodic cycle financial reports. I guess the system will be ready at that time. It will be published directly. Kinda wouldn't even let me glance at him. There's absolutely no way to modify it myself. With this thought, I couldn't help but mutter. After finishing this order, I feel it's necessary. Call a few bodyguards. Or maybe renovate the manufacturing shop. Got some defensive weapons. Otherwise, I always feel anxious inside. After selecting the materials, I then started to cross my mind in my mind. The manufacturing process has been reviewed. If it's a regular drone, I don't even need a whole day. You can build a dozen or so units, but to build a good range, mileage of 10 kilometers, a drone with a payload capacity of 10 tons. It is also required to have it. Extremely high stability. No joke. This is a challenge for me more than for Rebus itself. Even building a new energy vehicle costs a lot. Because of that new energy vehicle, other things don't really need to be considered. The only difficulty is the automatic, intelligent driving system. And the drone Wang Wei ordered was the one for which he had placed the order. The three most important aspects. But they are mutually exclusive. Long driving range. It is very difficult to increase cargo capacity. Large cargo capacity. Ability is hard to control. If stability is strong. As for the range and cargo capacity, they would all be constrained again. To find the three of them, a point of balance. The difficulty will be extremely high. It's like how a technician needs to build it. A very exquisite component. Details required reach 1 micron. That's not even 0.5 millimeters short. And the difficulties I face now. It's like making a so-called so-called component, it would be many times harder. Coinage, Shetty, 3 challenges. It must be resolved in a particular order. So let's start with the easiest one to solve. Got the range done. I let out a soft breath. Then he began to construct it in his mind. And with my architecture, many manufacturing equipment is required in many processes. I also got it from the super lab, summoned from the middle. Although I said the range is the easiest problem to solve. But that's only compared to. Regarding the other 2 issues, Wang Wei gave me the drone parameters. The captain's data is about 10 meters. This is also what a drone can do. This is the longest length we have reached. It's not that it can't grow any longer. Bus length is for drones. The most suitable length, a bit longer. This greatly reduces their flexibility. As for regular civil airliners, length is about 30 meters. Its mileage is just barely reachable, 12,300 kilometers. That means now I need to use 3 points. One of the dimensions of a commercial airliner, achieving the same mileage as a commercial airliner. The difficulty is easy to imagine. At this moment, I seem to think of some possibility. His eyes lit up, unable to hold back. He spoke up. Solving the biggest challenge in mileage. This is the volume of the compressed fuel tank. The fuel tank is too large. It will definitely affect the aircraft's cargo load, space, and stability. And since then, all aircraft have been used. All fuels are jet kerosene. The size of the fuel tank is related to the mileage, but whether it is fuel is more closely related. Solving the problem of fuel tank size. So what about solving the fuel problem? Right? That's the idea. This should be the optimal solution. Murmuring until the end, my eyes grew even brighter. Then I said, let's get to it. Stop putting all your energy into it. Above all, it solves the fuel problem. Meanwhile, on the other side, inside the research base of the 1st Military District of Magic City, and Zenmin gave Su Ting and the others a full gifty. It takes about half an hour for a person. Let them carefully consider how to solve it. Strategic aircraft security system issues. But half an hour passed. Su Ting and the others were still staring at each other wide-eyed. The head is empty. Not a single thought. And when it comes to the agenda of this meeting, it all started 3 days ago. 3 days ago! From the Dragon Nation and the Bear Country, secrets unfold into a modern era. Air combat exercises. Since the appearance of fighter jets, air superiority has already become a matter of left and right, a key factor in winning a war. Therefore, all countries are very emphasizing its own air combat capabilities. In recent years, no. It is also in the development of the Air Force, willing to let go of children and mother. No one knows how much money and effort they invested. But 3 days ago, Longguo was following Mao. This air combat exercise by the Bear Nation, but it was given to the military leaders of Longguo. A chilling one came in. It's not that Dragon Nation excels in air combat. They were crushed by the Bear Nation. Opposite. During this exercise, the Dragon Kingdom ultimately won the exercise. But victory was extremely brutal. A full air combat exercise. The Dragon Kingdom side mobilized and totalized 100 fighter jets. Among them, the JH-7 series combat was used. Bombers 20. J-10 series 25 units. Su-27. J-11 series, including J-11B's 10 aircraft. Zu-13 series 8 units. Zudra 35 7 pieces. J-15 10 mounts. The J-16 series, including J-16 series 16-8 aircraft. J-20 series 12 units. This is already equivalent to an air force. The entire series of strategic aircraft in the division. Meanwhile, the Bear Nation only sent out troops. 10 fighter jets. Right there with the military leaders of the Dragon Nation. I thought the Bear Kingdom was just joking around. But the Bear Nation took concrete action. He taught Longguo a lesson. 100 fighter jets. It was easy to wipe out the Bears. 10 of the country's fighter jets. Even the operations of the Bear Nation. The main base had been completely wiped out. This also led to the Dragon Nation. 100 fighter jets were exposed. Right in the enemy's field of vision. The Bear Nation is using a tough approach. Before his destruction, he opened everything. Anti-aircraft batteries and shelling bombardment. Using a combat base, they replaced the entire Dragon Nation Air Force. 98 fighter jets of the division. Only 2 escaped safely back to camp. Just look at this military exercise and battle. The Dragon Kingdom won. Real war absolutely won't happen. Decide the outcome with a single victory. The Dragon Nation uses nearly 100 fighter jets. A combat camp was replaced. Put it in real war. That would be a huge loss. Therefore, after this air combat exercise, a group of military leaders from Dragon Nation, an emergency meeting was then held, reflecting on this combat exercise, the root cause of the tragedy. And finally, the military leaders passed by 8 hours of intense intense discussion, and finally the discussion reached the conclusion that as the defense capabilities of strategic aircraft are too weak and suddenly penetrated deep behind enemy lines, it is inevitable that killing the enemy will occur. 1,000 losses for 800. And that's not even the most important part, the destruction of a strategic aircraft. Even more important is driving. Fighter pilot. Every fighter pilot, well, they are all 1 in 10,000. Carefully cultivated. Losing even one is heartbreaking, not to mention losing an entire squad. That's why the higher-ups gave it to Chen Zhen. The people urgently issued orders. He was required to leave the research base. All of the top military talents find a solution strategy within a week. Methods for pilot safety issues. And today, it was Chen Zhenmin who had already received it. It's the second day after the order. Chen Lao, I think this is the problem. It's not just us who have to face it. All other countries will have to face the same situation. So please don't worry too much. In a short time, I think strategic aircraft security is a concern. It simply cannot be resolved. The authorities are executing us all. This problem is also very difficult to solve. Seeing that the atmosphere in the conference room was somewhat heavy, Ma Hongji stood up and said, and it didn't matter if he didn't say anything. In short, Chen Zhenmin immediately got furious, his beard bristling. We're all slightly upturned. I use what you told me. Leave the problem to time. Every time he faces a research challenge, are you all one of you? It's all about this mindset. Then let me ask you, time solved the problem. Then what do you need me to do? And everyone has solved this problem. What other advantages does Dragon Nation have? What we need above is to stay ahead. Other countries will address this issue. In short, 2 days. I'll give you 2 days. If you didn't even have the most basic one, I can't even come up with any ideas. And I really should consider what Qin Ying said. I'll lock you all up in Shaohei. Stay in the room and focus on research. After saying that, Chen Zhenmin slammed the table hard. He left the meeting room with a dark face. Only Su Ting and Ma Hongyi remained, waiting for people to stare wide-eyed. After a while, Ma Hongyi couldn't help but look over. He looked in the direction where Qin Ying was. He revealed a charming smile and said, Mr. Ying, I'm in tour. You usually have the most thoughts. How about you give everyone a tip? I think this time, old Chen, it doesn't seem like a joke. Ma Hongyi's voice was heard. After the sound echoed in the conference room, the others also turned their heads in unison. Looked toward Qin Ying, who was sitting at the very front. A face full of hope was shown, although most of them are here. After entering the research base, Qin Ying had already become a mentor at the base. Almost no one had ever attended a class with Qin Ying, but with Qin Ying's strength. But they were all familiar with it. Back then, Qin Ying and her group were in their group. Now they have all become one. Leaders of military-industrial research units. And Qin Ying was still among them. He belongs to the handsome type. If she hadn't always sought a leisurely research base, it might have already been poached by other military districts. He was responsible for the research of the entire military district's military industry. Hey, now she knows to call her sister Ying. Weren't we just rushing a moment ago, complaining to old Chen, right? And you said it. I am the mentor. Old Chen wants to lock you up. The little dark room has nothing to do with me. You'd better fend for yourselves. Qin Ying warned calmly. Ma Hongji and the others glanced at him. He immediately stood up and started shaking around, with 2 long legs, under the stunned gazes of the crowd. Under his gaze, he left the meeting room. Meanwhile, Ma Hongji and the others stood there in a daze. My heart felt like it was smacking. It was as if he had completely fallen to the bottom of a valley. Rings, I can't count on him anymore. Now, no one can count on her. Everyone keep it up. Try to bring it up to Mr. Chen within 2 days. A reasonable research plan. It really doesn't work. He also needed to offer more ideas. Even if it's wrong, that's fine. Old Chen was probably angry today. When asked, we all spoke without a distinction. Su Ting shook his head and sighed. The others exchanged bright glances upon hearing this, but could only nod silently. Time flows like sand at your fingertips. 2 days flew by. Top military talents like Su Ting were strategically selected. When you have headaches over the defense of the machine. Located in the suburbs of Magic City, I am inside the manufacturing store. It was already in the super laboratory. He stayed for 100 days. If it weren't for the drone development, the entire process is very tight. I don't have much time to conceptualize. I really have to go crazy. But heaven rewards the diligent. It took more than 3 months. I finally gave Wang Wai what he requested. The drone was created. One has a mileage of up to 10,000 kilometers. Cargo capacity is 10 tons. A braking drone with excellent stability. Looking at his masterpiece in front of him, even I couldn't help but reveal at this time a hint of excitement on his face. Great. The system now targets the host this time. Experiments are conducted to score the results. Systematic testing. Host manufacturing of this drone experimental product. It received a perfect score of 100 regarding the structure of drone fuel tanks. The host's comprehension and creation. Ability breakthrough limit rating. Received an S-level rating. Now rewarding the host with 10 intelligence points. Reward the host with 10 million system upgrade points. The system's gentle voice rang out. Then another stream fell. I didn't take it seriously at first. But when I heard the last two sentences, the body that had originally planned to leave the lab, he immediately froze in place. The system rewarded 10 million lighters. Rank points aren't a big deal. The system has been constantly searching in this area. Compared to 1 billion upgrade points, 10 million is with me in the system. Like begging for food. But those 10 points of intelligence. But it really made my throat ache. Wriggling swallowed hard. I felt like my adrenaline was about to burst, if I'm not mistaken. These 10 points of intelligence can be equivalent to. The IQ score for 10 IQ points is 100 people are ordinary talents, and for those with an IQ score of 110, this alone is enough to be called an outstanding talent. In other words, these 10 points of intelligence from the system, it can instantly turn a person from ordinary IQ becomes superior. And those 10 points of IQ are used on me. Probably even more exaggerated, because I originally had a strong interest in scientific research in related fields. Talent and comprehension for research is enough to be considered top tier. It is said that Einstein was exceptionally intelligent. It reached a full 160. I didn't know before I could do it. Comparable to Einstein. But if you combine this, 10 points of intelligence, I think it was Einstein while he was alive. I can absolutely be innocent with him testing your IQ. It seems the system has many more functions. I haven't touched it. However, it alone increases intelligence. This is a magical feature. That would be truly terrifying. I took a deep breath. He forced down his excitement and said, then I looked up again. A glance at his own masterpiece. He then took him away from the super laboratory